Just let me know when. I'll work with it right now.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the North-South Racing League. Tonight, the battle at Brownsburg 200. In the booth for the Driving DJ Network is going to be DJ, who you're hearing right now, and Ray. Ray, what's going on, man? You ready for 200 laps of action?
DJ, nice night for a race here, and I do mean night, but it is daytime here at Lucas Oil Speedway, located in Claremont, Indiana, even though it's the Brownsburg facility. And again, this is a showdown event, 1 of 13. I'm ready for a great evening tonight with all these guys, and it's been some pretty fast practice laps. Of course, we're kind of getting everything lined up. They will be qualifying here shortly at 9 p.m. We'll go down the field for you as qualifying goes and obviously line up for tonight's feature. Now, they do have qualifiers, and then they do have a heat as well, and you can explain that if you'd like.
Well, we're going to have we have a lot of cars in this one trying to make the show for this one. It's going to be 30 cars going to be going the distance tonight. 26 cars out of qualifying are going to make the show. Everybody else here is going to have to go to a 25-lap last chance qualifier. 4 of them are going to make it. Everybody else, unfortunately, is going to be going home. These guys are all going to be fighting for a pretty cool trophy. That's something rare for these guys. It's a showdown event, 1 of 4 for these guys for this series. We'll throw up the schedule here shortly, but these guys are racing for not only some pride and some bragging rights, but a pretty cool plaque.
Yeah, 38 guys, by the way, entered for this event. 8 guys will go home tonight. There's a plaque on the line, as he was just saying. Every race they'll have one for these guys. It is the North-South Racing League. Again, I keep wanting to say shootout because that's what I'm used to hearing is North-South shootout. North-South shootout. And as you can see up on your screen, the battle at Brownsburg 200, that will go to the winner this evening. We'll send it out. And again, from the North-South Racing League. All this brought to you by J&G Hardwood Flooring, as well as Kelly's Custom Engraving. Kelly's Custom Engraving is a locally owned and operated business located in Bellevue, North Carolina, specializing in custom engraved wood, leather, glass, acrylic, and many more materials. Be sure to like and follow their Facebook page to view other amazing products and check your order. They are also on Facebook under Kelly's Custom Engraving. Again, tonight, 200 laps here at the Lucas Oil facility in Indiana. We're getting ready for qualifying here at 9 p.m. Eastern.
Yep, so that's just about to start, and Kelly's Custom Engravings is the one who makes these trophy plaques. So it's cool. The sponsor steps up, does a great job. You can see some of the quality they have on your screen. Take that off, jump up to the schedule. You see what we have planned. There's 4 showdown events. First one starting it off with a big one, Ray, 200 laps. All the other races are pretty much shorter. They go to North Wilkesboro for another showdown event, as well as Milwaukee, and they ended at Myrtle Beach, 200 laps there. So some really big events planned for Season 1 of the North-South Racing League. And there's some pretty cool features along with this league that you don't see everywhere else. In this league, along with the Drivers' Championship, they're also going to be determining what region has the better drivers. Each driver
North
has...
and South.
Yeah, exactly. Each driver has selected a region to represent, so you'll see the 0 or the S or the N after the driver's numbers. That's going to indicate North or South. And the top 3 finishers in each race will collect points for their region. The region with the highest point total will win the season. The top 3 point earners in the region will receive a region-winning plaque as well, probably from Kelly's Custom Engraving. To go along with the North versus South theme, they've selected 6 tracks in the northern region, along with 6 tracks in the southern region. If a driver from the north goes into an enemy territory in the south and wins the race, that north driver will go home with a bonus $25. Same goes for a south driver winning in the enemy territory in the north. That south driver will go home with $25. The Roval in the middle of the season is neutral territory and will not have a cash bonus program. But Ray, man, is that pretty cool to kind of throw geography into the mix here. A lot of these guys from all over the place, and we're going to be able to see a lot of these drivers duking it out all across the country all season long.
Yeah, a little bit of breakup on your end there, but regardless, one of the things I wanted to point out, you were just saying you had a schedule up there. I did see the Roval, which makes it kind of even battlegrounds, of course, road course, right and left-hand turns with street stocks, which are not used to being on any type of a road course for that matter. But I will say another unique track would be Concord Speedway, located, of course, in Concord, North Carolina, one of the southern tracks. I've been there myself personally. It's got a really wild dog leg in it, and you've never seen anything like it because it's basically a three-turn track. Long story short, you go down into turn one, head up towards turn two, which is very short-lived, kind of like the tunnel turn at Pocono, but very much smaller, and then back to turn three and turn four. But with that all being said, it's going to be a fun night tonight here at the Lucas Oil Raceway. One of the things I'll point out, Dustin Shepard at the top of the pole in practice with a 24.140 lap. Right below him, Grossier, I'll get that right. We've got to make sure we get our names right this evening. Grossier has a 24.161. So these guys all the way down through 24 seconds seems to be the common theme. Everything between 21.140 all the way down to 20. Well, actually, there is a 25.407. So I'm going to say that was Sean Cox in a 00 machine, one of our Southern guys. But I don't think that was anything on speed. He come in late. Able to get at least a lap out and put it up on the chart. But regardless, Dustin Shepard will be out here very shortly for qualifying, just after 9 p.m. again Eastern time, waiting for these guys to hit the track.
And right now we can see the results on the screen here. This is your top 10. See the time ticking down. We did have a little bit of a technical difficulty on our end with the iRacing server coming up. But here's your top 10. Shepard, Grosser, Martin, Apel, Womack, McRae, Eastman, Clavey, Cross, and Williams is your top 10. Your 11 through 20 is Eschen, Jeeble, Harbin, Mathis, Masterson, Pileski, Clifton, Curtis, Richard Orr, Jacob Heathcote in the top 20. Go ahead and move on down there, Ray. If you got a copy. If not, we'll continue on here.
Well, I had a little problem. A technical problem still elude me over here. So you're welcome to go ahead. I'm having a little trouble on my end.
No, we'll continue on here. But 21st is going to be Jacob Simmons, Dylan Kalin, Brandon Kay in 23rd, Thomas Stewart, Jason Gordon, Andrew Schroeder, Matt Cook, Cody Ostrom, Joe Witkowski, Tony Mathis is going to be in 30th as of right now. We talked about Cox, Dylan Johnson jumping in here, Mark Shute, Damon Carnes, David Gilbert, Kyle Shear, Kyle Spees, Dan Witt, Michael Veredis, Sean Cox is going to round out everybody who took time so far this evening.
38 guys looking for 30 spots tonight. Again, the first qualifier, which they'll go out on the track. They've got, 2 laps for 5 minutes once qualifying gets going, which we have not seen forwarded just yet. They'll have 2 laps on their own. Then they'll go to qualifying. The top 26 guys out of that race will go to the feature. Then there'll be a last chance qualifier. It'll only be one heat. It'll only be 25 laps. And these guys, actually, the heat was 25 laps. The feature, let me rephrase that. Qualify, 5 minutes, 2 laps. Okay, now I'm reading this a little bit better. Let me get this a little more straight now that I'm actually looking at it. Qualify. Top 26 that qualify with their 2 laps will go to the feature. Everybody from 27th down to 38 has a last chance heat, and that's 25 laps. The top 4 out of that go to the feature. The other 8 go home. 30 guys on the track for 200 laps of excitement. I see right now that they forwarded the session, and we'll go into qualifying here for their 2-lap individual qualify while they get on track.
Try to throw up the side ticker here so we can see at least the top 20 of cars that make it. We'll jump around, see who goes on track, and try to keep up with all the action that goes on. Everybody's starting to queue up and jump right on track. See who we can get. Like the 38 car of Justin Grosser's queued up and ready to rock and roll.
See, 38, looking down my list here, right there, Justin Grosser. 38 sick card machine there, in that pure stock machine. Leaning that thing over quite hard already, seeing that left front lean right up. Right along in the car with him as he goes down into turn 3, ready to get his first lap underway. He'll go to the top side. A lot of these guys will be riding that outside wall tonight. As you can see the marks there, that is one of the favorite positions to be. Low side, it makes it really tight when you get down there. Of course, as you can see, he's going to that outside wall, lifting that throttle real early, seeing a little bit of backfire through his pipes. He'll go down through turn 2, arc it downward, shorten it up a little bit, back to the wall, and that's going to be the preferred line this evening. Down the back chute, he'll go all by himself, of course. Turn 3, he'll complete his first lap. We'll see exactly what he's got for time. as he comes across the stripe. Around turn 4 he'll come. Slides a little bit there on the rear end up to the top. And he puts in a time, 24.624. That is slow. Keep in mind he's got to get the speed up for the second time around because, again, our top contender on practice, 24.142 was his lap.
You can see these guys making laps. 20 cars have taken time pretty much so far. See if we can catch up with somebody after Grosser's lap. See if he can make it any better. He does. He jumps up into second spot. Another car fast in practice, Dustin Shepard from the south as well. Top time on the board with Gary Eschen in the 23 end. Brandon Kay jumps up as well as the time's going on here. These guys are very close. Top 4 cars within a tenth of a second. Shepard right up against the wall in that J&G hardwood flooring machine. Coming down off of 4. Ray, this is a tricky little oval here. This isn't your standard oval. You are, like you were saying, right up against the wall here. You're not going to be digging on the bottom, maybe on a restart for a corner, but other than that, whoa, as it levels off there. Good save by Shepard. You're going to be up high and riding, and it's going to be pretty tough to pass with the low horsepower these cars hold.
Yeah, like I said before, only about 400 horsepower in these machines. Shepard loses a rear end coming through 4. He'll spin it around, end up down by the fence. Won't touch it, which is good. His crew doesn't have to repair the body of the car before the feature. But we got another guy here, Apel, out there in the 51 Northern machine. We'll see what he does with his laps. He'll come around right now. See if I can get him on my screen. Excuse the delay. I got a little bit over here.
Apel was showing a lot of speed in our preseason race there, Ray. He actually won it when we were at Lanier. Had a lot of cars show up for that one, so he showed some speed. So curious to see what he can do. 31 cars already making time so far, just under 2 minutes to go.
Apel coming down for his first lap. No time on the board just yet. Coming around turn 4. A little bit skittish, as everybody else has pounding these machines. He'll take it down by the stripe. First lap right now, 24.599. That's enough to put him in 4th on his first lap. Let's see if he can advance it for the second. Of course, yellow stripes on his bumper, a little bit of rookiness, but damn good driver out here. He'll come down the back chute, heading to 3rd. Off the front bumper cam here, as you can see, they'll go down to the bottom of the track. He's losing the front end, able to steer it through the turn. A little bit of saw in there on that steering wheel. He'll hit the stripe, and this time, not an improvement. 24.954, actually slower. Still puts him in 4th place for the qualifier.
One of the last cars to take time right now, the 03 machine from the south, is Dante Curtis. He's out of North Carolina, coming down the back straightaway in that beautifully painted Dante Curtis designed 03 machine. Rolling through 3 and 4 here, coming around for, I believe, his first time lap. We'll see, this track is very temperature sensitive, so as the night goes on and the laps tick off, this place is really going to change, going from very slick to really tight. So I know you can see that almost Darlington-esque stripe that's going on right now, but Curtis puts up a good lap, second fast on his first time by. We'll see if he can make an improvement.
Yeah, Curtis right now up to 2nd place, like you just said there, DJ. 24.5 seconds. Let's see. He's got a good run coming off of 4. Slides a little bit. That'll lose a little bit of speed. Down to the inside on the stripe. He'll go. 24.678 in the second lap. No improvement, but again, that'll put him on the outside of the front row.
Absolutely good run for Curtis with this big stacked field. He's going to lock that machine into the show. All these other guys have made time. The cars not too so far are the 42 of Dylan Johnson and the 64 of Thomas Stewart. Well, you can see on the side your top 10. Brandon Kay, Dante Curtis, Gary Eschen, Justin Grosser, Jared Apel, Jesse Womack, Will Eastman, Philip Martin, Andrew Schroeder, and Landon Williams are your top 10. 11th on back, you can see they were ticking around, but here comes our first race of the evening. This one's 15 minutes or 25 laps.
Like you said, 2 guys not taking time, but again, 26 will move on and we'll line up this qualifier for 25 laps. Again, top 4 of this will go to the feature. It'll make 30 cars this evening. 8 guys are going to go with thanks for coming. So let's see if we can line them up here, and we'll get things rolling here very shortly. On the point right now, the number 44 of Dan Witt, one of the Northern guys. Outside of him, Joe Witkowski here in a 24 machine. 71, Kyle Scheer on the inside of the second row. Outside of him will be the 15 of Matt Cook. Inside, Jacob Simons in the 3rd row there. Tony Mathis in the 75 will take the 6th place spot. 28th machine, Jason Gordon. Outside of him will be David Gilbert. Line up the rest of the guys all the way down through. Damon Cairns there in the 04. Sean Cox outside of him in 10th place position. 11th will be Michael Verdas, and Dylan Johnson in the 42 will be on the inside of the next row. And rounding out 13 positions will be Thomas Stewart in the 64 machine. Now, again, these 13 guys right now, let's see, 5th on down to 13th. That means 8 goes home. Like I said, top 4 to the feature. Last chance right now, 25 laps here up to grabs.
Yeah, this is going to be a good way to test your skills and see how these guys race. This is going to be their first actual season race. Points are going to matter here. I mean, if you miss the show, Ray, you're not going to get any. So I know they do get 5 points for showing up. They have to make at least one lap, and they will get 5 points. So it's not for naught, but you definitely will get a better points day for yourself if you can make it into the big show. I know these guys really want to do that, especially being a showdown event, the inaugural race, the first race of the entire series for these guys. A lot of pressure and a lot of hope.
Oh, yeah,
for,
first points you...
Yeah, go ahead, Ray.
Sorry, man. You broke up there, so I thought that I lost you for a second. But, yeah, first point event of the season again. Even though it is a showdown race, one of 4 of the showdown races out of 13 events. This is still something you want to take and come out on top with a good points lead, number 1. Number 2, you want bragging rights. I mean, you want the first one of the season, not to mention the first one of the series for the 2020 season. So here we go. Pace car ready to take and roll off. We'll get 2 laps of pacing and get these guys underway.
Excited to see what Dan Witt, Joe Witkowski, although he's in second, kind of the catbird seat we were talking about earlier, you kind of won't mind being on the high side for this one. I don't believe the leader gets to choose here. So that red and white 24 machine is going to be looking at a pretty good run here. If he can keep that car wound up and on the high side, he'll have the preferred line, and we'll see what he could do with it on this restart. We're going to have 1 to go as they come around through 3 and 4, and we'll get right up to racing.
Joe Witkowski there's got to watch it. I don't know if the flags are turned on for cautions for the qualifier or not. Most of the time it's not. We'll bring around our first warm-up lap. A couple guys getting the tires warmed up. But again, Joe's got to watch that jump from the 44. Now, first thing is right off the bat, they're supposed to go on the green, but all restarts will be on the loud pedal of the leader. So again, Witt will bring the field around, following the pace car to turn 1, down to turn 2. And we'll get this first and only qualifier of the evening underway.
Driver out of Munster, Indiana, right next to a driver out of Maryville, Indiana. So a couple guys kind of right around my area in my hometown. They're not very far from me at all. So it's pretty cool to see these guys be able to duke it out. And we'll see how these Northerners can do with all the Southerners and group behind them. But here we go.
Short track racing at its best. You don't want to live too close to the guy that you're going to hammer and put into the wall. So be careful. And the first green flag of the night is out and underway. Dan Witt pulls out ahead with a little bit of shove from behind from the 71 of Shear, but Witkowski to the outside has the advantage only for the moment. Now keep in mind that outside line is where you want to be, and the 15 right now of Matt Cook has taken that position up in 4th. Nobody behind him as of yet with a challenge, but I'm looking right now at the 75 of Tony Mathis. Mathis with a little bit of flash out of his car. He's still to the bumper of the 15. 3 wide down through turn 4 for the lead, and it'll be taken by the 71. A little tap from the 44, and again the 45, Dan Witt will lead that lap.
Guys bouncing off the wall for 1 and 2 here. 15 getting into Witkowski. He looks like he's going to go around here down the back straightaway. No caution. We saw some cars getting together a little on farther back. No caution as of now. It does come out. So a lot of guys still. We see the 7 car of David Gilbert. He's still down there. He's going to go a lap down this time by. Going to slow it up. Action-packed race right from the get-go. Kyle Shear putting on a show. Diving down to the bottom there in that 71. See if we can make anything of it here.
One of the things, if you get the replay handy there with the 23 or the 24, excuse me, that happened. There was something behind them long before that even began. I mean, there was somebody right there in the 3 wide coming out of 4. Watch that. There we go. There's a wreck off of turn 4. The 7 involved, of course, that's David Gilbert. Looks like that. Yep, this is what happened long before we even hit turn 1 or 2 before all this happened. Down through turn 3 to go. The 7 looks like he gets up against the fence, and he'll come down and tap the rear end of, let me see, the 70, I can't see, 75 of Tony Mathis, I believe, and just a train reaction behind him. 5-6 cars involved for the rear. Of course, a 0-4 involved there of Damian Carnes. Then we got this incident. The 24 getting a little tap from behind, a little help. I believe that was the 15 behind him, but the caution didn't come out until finally the 24 stopped and allowed, obviously, everybody to start slowing down. The 24 doesn't lose much for positions. That's Witkowski. Caution out here tonight for the first time for the feature, or for the heat, anyways.
Absolutely. Just an action-packed caution as it was the race. These guys were slicing and dicing, and I'm sure all the guys watching who have made it into the show are trying to figure out what they're going to do to try to make some passes happen. But slipping and sliding, it definitely looks like these guys are going for grip each and every corner. Back end stepping out on these machines. You see the outside retaining wall painted with black tire marks as these guys are pushing it to the absolute limit. Some of these guys a little too far, scraping it off that Lucas Oil Raceway sign right in the middle of each corner. But we'll be seeing a lot of that, and I know it's not going to help for the damage points for these guys. They want to be able to make it the whole way. 200 laps is a long time, and this place is not very wide. So you're kind of where you need to be is right up to the top, and it's not going to work there on the bottom, especially as you get a lot of laps on your tires here.
Now, one of the things I'll point out here, these guys do have a 15-minute time limit on this 25-lap heat race. We're only 2 laps in. They are not counting the cautions from what I'm seeing. Kyle Shear right now with the advantage. He's in second place. He'll start on the outside of the front row once we get going. And it seems like these cautions are quite long. We are 7 minutes into this, almost halfway through for time-wise, and we still got at least 23 laps to go. I don't believe they're going to complete all these laps, unfortunately, DJ, but that's all right. I mean, we'll get these 4 guys up front, and they know that they got to hurry and stay up there as quick as they can.
Absolutely. With this being a new series, they're always going to try to make a way so it's fair for everybody to have a fair shot and make their way into the big show. But this is the route they chose so far, and it worked previously. So it's just a matter of kind of how big the track is, how quickly it can be picked up, and the cautions can be cleaned up and things like that, guys pitting and whatnot. So a couple drivers dropping out of this one already. One of them hit pit road. So we'll see this time by if we're able to get the caution lights off. Looks like we are. We're going to go double file this time.
Leader takes the outside, which is actually a good call on the 44's part. By the way, 0.69 miles is actually the size of the speedway measured to the inside. So just over a half mile of ovalness here, as we call it. Very flat track, by the way. Not very, no banks in it that I can see at all. I've been here myself. If you can hold that outside and carry that momentum, that's definitely the advantage to be. So we're going to watch our leader, the 44 right now, of Dan Witt, who's going to start off this field. He's jumping on it quite early. The pace car pulls down. Once the 4 tires are in there, he can go. And he had a hell of an advantage because nobody caught up behind him, and that puts him to the front. The 71 of Kyle Shear immediately trying that inside line. Keep in mind, outside's fast here for the 44.
Kyle Shear dipping those left sides under the yellow paint as they come off of turn 2, a little sideways for 4th there. These guys slicing and dicing all the way back as they're fighting their way down into turn 3. Witkowski up to 6th, 2 spots short. I want to pay attention heavily to this 4th spot position. The 2-car of Jacob Simmons is holding on to it. Side-by-side battle for the lead. Not as important, though, as long as they can keep the fenders on them and point it in the right direction. The real battle on the track is going to be for 4th and 5th.
Yes, sir. 71 to the front. That gives them another position away from it. But going back to, like you said, the 4th place spot, the 2 of Jacob Simmons, a lot loose coming off of turn 2 last lap, at least before this one. That gave the advantage to Carnes as well as Witkowski to take and try to catch back up. They're awful close to him. They got a long ways to go yet. 9.5 minutes into this race. Again, 5 minutes left after that because of the fact 15-minute time limit. 25 laps total. Lap 5 right now on the board. But it looks like the number 2 of Simons, is pulling up to the 3rd place of Matt Cook.
Yeah, look out, Matt Cook. You're going to be on the bubble here shortly as the laps are ticking off. We're coming around to lap number 6. All these guys kind of grouping up after such a jump start by Witt. Shear able to capitalize on that, even though looks like the 04 is getting some pressure from the 24 of Witkowski. These front ends are lifting up on these street stocks, and they're wheeling them coming down the back straightaway.
Witkowski with the shorter way around, but not the momentum. He's still to the inside, trying to get around that 0-4 of Damian Carnes. Carnes to the high side, pulling that momentum, still trying to keep up with the top 4. It's a side-by-side battle right now for 5th, as we see there goes in behind of the 2 of Jacob Simons. Simons right now is holding off for 4th place, still a long ways behind him, side-by-side. And Simons loses it off of turn 2.
Simons getting clipped by the 24 of Witkowski, nowhere to go. We'll see if we can jump back there, look from the in-car of the 24. Unfortunately, nowhere to go. They come off. You see everybody's kind of sliding. He's turning right. He broke loose at the same exact time. Flips him, loses a couple spots, and we'll see where he ends up.
Yeah, Witkowski just no place to go. Simons loses it by himself coming off the turn. We're going to see how bad the damage is of that car. I do not believe there's any quick repairs according to what I'm seeing here. But he can still run that 24 right there. You see the front end damage of that car. It's still runnable. This is short track racing. Aero doesn't mean a ton here, but keep in mind he's still got to be able to turn it. And we got to keep that engine from overheating. So we're going to see if he can continue on. And we'll keep an eye on that 24 of Witkowski, which, by the way, is now in 6th place for this qualifier.
Yeah, lost a couple spots there, getting the 04 making his way by. I don't know if he made his way by the cars that passed him up. But right now, Kyle Shear is currently your leader. Dan Witt behind him in that 44N. And then the 15 car of Matt Cook, who is getting a little bit pressure from the 2 car. He's going to be sitting in 3rd with some hungry competitors behind him. Damian Carnes works his way up onto the bubble position. He's going to be trying to get him as he's going to start inside of row 3 for this next restart.
Yeah, I don't see the 2 of Jacob Simons. I believe he pulled in. He's the one that lost it off the corner, so he might be in the back. Yeah, I see him in the pits now. I see that on our replay here on our TV broadcast anyways. That'll leave the 15 of Matt Cook in 3rd, Damian Carnes in the 04 and 4th. The 24 of Joe Witkowski behind him trying to take over that spot. 12 minutes, 3 minutes to go. Lap 7 is what we're working. And again, tonight's race, one of our sponsors, J&G Hardwood Flooring. J&G Hardwood Flooring is a small family-owned business which started in 2005, located in Christina, Tennessee, and serves all of Middle Tennessee. Owners Josh and Brandon I'm going to screw this up. Klazinski. Thank you for the correction. Have combined 35 years of experience to serve all of our flooring needs, from new construction, remodels, or even small repairs. For estimates and scheduling, give them a call, 615-904-2218. That's 615-904-2218. J&G Hardwood Flooring in Christina, Tennessee.
Awesome for them to step up for the inaugural season. I know Brandon Klazinski is an awesome racer that I personally rub fenders with. He's a very clean and hard racer, so it's good to see him in this series here. He made the show with a pretty stout lap. If I remember correctly, I believe he was in the top 5 or top 10, so we'll see what he has in store for us tonight. Right now, it's all about this last chance race to get these next 4 competitors that start in the tail end of this one. 30 cars here, Ray. It's going to be a traffic jam for a little while.
Yeah, keep an eye on that 6th place of Witkowski. Like I said before, he's still able to run that car. One of the guys from Merlinville, Indiana, so let's see, started in racing 1 month ago in iRacing. So look at how far he's come. Got a chance to take and make it to the featured night if he has the time. 13:22 right now on the board. 15 is the limit. That is time. I keep reiterating that because it's more important right now than the laps. There's no way they're going to qualify the 25 lapper. But it says 15 minutes for Heat 1, 25 laps. We'll double them back up as we see the pace car lights come out. And we'll see the 44 now have to go to the inside because Kyle Shearer is taking the outside.
I'm not sure if they're doubling up or single file. It doesn't look like it's that clean of a lineup here. Looks like they're going to double them up this time. A little sloppy there through 1 and 2. We'll watch as Kyle Shear's going to be at the point here. I want to go out to this view. It was a little quicker of a jump than I expected out of the 44 machine. See what Shear does.
Legitly, when those 4 tires come off the track of the pace car, you're able to hit the loud pedal. The leader does anyways. And I see right now that 71 of Shear is just waiting till turn 4.
Green flag, green flag.
Green flag in the air. Here we go. Shear with a great jump way out front. And trying to get away. He'll take the high side and hopefully carry that momentum right now to a win.
Right now, big jump. We'll see where we're at for the 4th place position for these guys. Side by side, you see the 64 and 24. Door to door right now, 3rd and 4th. Keep it straight, guys. The 15 and the 04 of Carnes and Cook fight for it in the 64 of Thomas Stewart. And the 64 ends making a look to the inside of the 4. He gets a little free off of 4. We'll see what happens here as they go down into turns 1 and 2.
04 in the catbird seat. Low line there. Didn't take the outside. That'll give the momentum to the 64. Right now behind him, that's Thomas Stewart. Right in the catbird seat, as I said, Damian Carnes trying to hold on to that. Not riding the high side, but watch the 64 move to the outside. He's going to try it there, but no, right in his tire tracks down to the 3rd groove. To the inside of him, the 24 again. Witkowski fighting back for that 4th place spot.
Yeah, he's looking to the inside of the 64 as he's trying to line up the 04. A lot of force here in this battle for 4th. But, yeah, Witkowski's looking to the inside of the 64. And Matt Cook is slowly pulling away from this, so he's getting safer and safer as the laps click off. Witkowski now making a move to the inside of the 64. Coming off, doesn't make, he does. A little contact there off of turn 4. trying to get a run. So hard to do here, especially with all that damage, but he's still rim riding right in the right lane. We'll see if he can get a run here off of turn 2.
I got to say right now, the front of the handling of that car's got to be a little bit rough, but our challenge right now, back up front in the 4th place spot, the 64 now to the inside, going to try that low line. The car's going to slide up in front of Witkowski. Able to keep it down there, though, in the second groove. 3 wide at the stripe. Another little buck from the 24 going down the front stretch.
And while all this is happening, Jason Gordon's moving his way up. Guys are duking it out, trying to make the show. Witkowski's going around here.
In the same place the 2 lost it. He got a little bit of help, though, I believe, from the 28 of Gordon. And actually, no, Gordon had no place to go when he lost it coming out of the corner. And, well, unfortunately, a little bit of bump, side bump in the 24 gets T-boned by the 28. And that might end Witkowski's night as we go along. Gordon's still underway. And I got to say, maybe I was incorrect about the time because we're on 16:31. Says 15-minute limit, but apparently we must be because of the green flags. I'm not quite certain here what the heck the deal is. So
I'm not sure. I know we kind of had the similar issue at Lanier, and
yes, sir.
Right when we had the restart, it kind of started the race, and then we got the white flag the next lap. So look for that to happen as the caution came out kind of right as time was ticking away here. So we'll pay attention to that. We'll see if we get some alerts here on our screen that the white flag comes out. But until then, 13 laps to go, and we'll keep trying to tick them off as time goes by.
Yeah, working out lap 12 right now as we see the 28 of Gordon pick back up to the field here. Front of the car don't look bad. He did hit the 24 there, but doesn't seem to be all that bad. A little bit of wrinkle there, but very drivable. As you can see, the fender still on the left front. Our little corner cameras there. Right front looks very good. I think you'll be able to continue down through here. Bit of a wrinkle in the hood. Hit the brakes early enough where it didn't cause all that much damage to that 28 machine.
Yeah, a lot of these guys racing so close. Unfortunately for Witkowski, just got it into the 64. 64 just kind of holding this line. These cars, man, they're tough to drive. I know he's only been doing it for about a month now, but he has a lot of real-life experience, so it's awesome to see him jump in and jump on with us. He's actually Phil Martin's uncle, so a little family rivalry when they get going together here, so it's cool that he got him involved in this, and these guys are able to have a little family fun.
Yeah, one of the guys, Jason Gordon, 28 out of Rockport, Texas. He has actually a sponsor, Superior Plumbing. Like the other guys, is a little bit less experience, 6 months racing, I&I racing, that is. Real world racing experience, rookie in the USRA factory stop dirt oval. And the home track is South Texas Speedway. So, again, he's able to hold on to that. Right now, 7th place position. Still has a chance to get the top 4. We're going to go by laps from here on out because, again, the time I was told 15 minutes. But apparently that is incorrect. As we see right now, your top 4 so far making it through. Kyle Sheeran is 71. Dan Witt in the 44. By the way, I kind of parceled that 44. That's one of my numbers anyways. Matt Cook in the 15. Damien Carnes in the 04. Now, Carnes, by the way, watch out for him. He keeps using that third groove while everybody's towards the top, kind of rim riding it like you were saying. And, man, sometimes that slows him down, gives a challenge at least 2-3 times to Thomas Stewart and that 64 behind him.
Absolutely, and I'm seeing right now we're actually getting the white flag this time by, Ray.
Kind of figured that was going to happen for time frame. Not exactly sure, again, what happened. I was told 15 minutes. Now I see we're on 19 minutes in lap 12, so apparently maybe it is 20 minutes. I stand corrected.
Driver out of Roscoe, Illinois is going to be transferring into this one. Also, driver out of Munster, Indiana will try to jump over. You guys are all numerical order on our sheet here. We're going to try to scroll down and see where the 15 Matt Cook is from. Hayes, Kansas. So Midwesterner there. And Damien Carnes in the 04. He's going to make the big show as well for the first showdown event. Driver out of Australia. Corey Rupp, Victoria, Australia. Awesome.
Hey, I actually can see the chat over here, which is something I didn't realize. Enrique Contreras, of course, excuse me, Enrique, I butcher names pretty bad, but you're asking what track this is. The track is actually Lucas Oil Raceway, located in Indiana, 0.66 mile track. And here we go, green flag's back in the air. I didn't see the white flag, but it looks like Dan Witt, they're trying to cut down Kyle Shearer, who went to a huge jump. This time jumped when those 4 pace car tires were off the track. 71 of Kyle Shearer, at least 8 of them, now maybe even 10 car lengths ahead of second place of Dan Witt. I don't see the white flag, but we're going to keep going.
Absolutely, laps are ticking off. It's showing on our screen in a transfer position change. The 64 of Thomas Stewart gets around the Australian in the 04 machine, and we'll see if this is it.
keep an eye on that 04 of Carnes. He is driving the wheels off it. And the reason I say that, come around turn 3 last time, that rear end was out at about a 30-degree angle. And, well, I believe that would be the end of it right there. 20 minutes is what we had into that. Now, here's your transfer spots. Let you know exactly what happened there on the results. Justin, let me see here. Now we're getting up the leaderboard for the last one. So I got to get the results up. 71, Kyle Shearer in the first place spot. Dan Witt in the 44. Matt Cook in the third place. And rounding out your top 4 with a last lap move, Thomas Stewart in the 64. All 4 of those guys will go to the feature, and we'll run down the top 30 cars for the start of tonight's 200-lap race.
Start this one off. The 38 machine is going to start on the pole of Justin Grosser. Gary Eschen in the 23 is going to line up on the outside of the front row. Dante Curtis is going to line up second row inside in that 03. Brandon Klasinski in that J&G hardwood flooring machine is going to line up in row number 2. Jared Apel, Jesse Womack in row number 3. Will Eastman, Phil Martin are going to be in row number 4. Andrew Schroeder, Landon Williams are going to round out the top 10. Clarence Clifton, Tyler McRae are going to round out row number 6. Dustin Shepard starting a little farther back than he wants to. He's going to be starting 13th next to Jonathan Cross. Kyle Harbin, Mark Shute are going to be in the next row, number 8. And in row number 9 is going to be John Masterson and James Pileski.
Row number 10 in the 9th position is the 29 of Robert Clavey. The 37 of Jacob Heathcote will start in the 20th position. Richard Orr in the 33 machine, 21st position. 22nd position, Cody Ostrom in the 73. Jeff Mathis in the 57 inside next row. Outside of him, the 36 of Kyle Spees. Dylan Kalin in the 18 machine, as well as the 91 of Adam Giebel will be in 26th position. 27th of Kyle Shear, one of our, well, basically our heat winner for the night to get him there. Dan Witt in the 44 outside of him in the 28th position. 29th, Matt Cook, and rounding around all 30 positions, Thomas Stewart in the 64. Our 4th place for the qualifier this evening. 30 cars, 200 laps, a lot of time, a lot of beating and banging, and a lot of things to get excited about for this first race of the season. And again, it is a shootout this evening. 1 of 4 shootouts, 1 of 13 races completed for the entire season of the North-South Racing League.
Get that image up on your screen. A lot of cars to take through in this one, so we're going to keep this top ticker up for now, see how it works. Pace car is going to make that turn down left. We'll see what Grosser decides to do. Huge pack of cars here. Brings them down nice and slow, a little creep. You see a little accordion effect as he speeds up, slows down a little bit. Do a crawl, and he takes off. Nice and smooth. Good start for the front row. Curtis with a good jump as well. Lazinski on the high side, 2 by 2 as they come through, turns 1 and 2.
And as the Battle of Brownsburg is underway, 1/2 a lap into it, and we just have a gaggle of cars all over the place, and a challenge immediately for the lead. That'd be the 23 of Eric Eschlin to the outside, able to carry the momentum. 1 car length ahead, but a fight back by the 38. We got a caution coming out of turn 3.
Trying to see where it's at on my end. A lot of cars down there in 3 and 4. As Eschlin was making his way around, it's a parking lot down here. We can try to figure out what happened, but that was wild.
We'll get the replay up here for you shortly. As you can see, the pack just a hammer around that first lap. One of them in the fence, trying to see who that was. Able to keep it under motion, though, coming out of turn 2.
Looks like the 8 car went around. Yeah, the 8 car went around, and Clarence Clifton will go back shortly now that we know kind of what happened. I'm on the blimp mode here. He goes around, clips Jonathan Cross. The 76 gets into it, the 33 car. All these guys, 57, 15, Dan Witt's a part of that one. 64, all those guys who fought to get into it.
Yeah, all started with the 8 of Clarence Clifton there of Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Murfreesboro. I told you I'm horrible with names. But either way, you can see the damage there on the front of his car. He'll be able to get back, get a little bit of that fixed. He'll pull it into the pits. No quick repairs for these guys. So whatever they got, they got. So we're going to hopefully see Clarence back out here in a short period of time, get his guys on it. 400 horsepower in these machines. They're real heavy on a short track like this. Makes it awful interesting for a good night's race.
Absolutely. These guys are going to try to keep clean and green. Ashton actually probably happy. Actually, the 38 will get a choice here unless it's a complete restart. But 4 laps in right now of 200. The strategy going to play a factor, tires and things like that. So we'll see what these guys have left in the tank after all this is said and done. Right now, your current top 5, Gary Eschen, Justin Grosser, Dante Curtis, Brandon Klasinski, and Jesse Womack.
Yeah, right now, a little bit of damage there I see. Let me see what car is that. The 64. That would be, I just said his name here. He's up front.
Thomas Stewart.
They're bringing it around. Stewart, thank you very much, sir. I appreciate that. Bit of wrinkle on the hood. Not sure how he got up there pretty quick here, but let's see. Race. I'm getting my timing up on there. Let's see. Okay, Grosser there in second, Curtis in third. But it shows a 64. He might be a lap down now that I'm seeing this.
Yeah, that's what's showing up on my end. I think he was involved in that wreck and just couldn't get it rolling fast enough. So looks like he's getting an EOL currently as these guys are driving by. We're getting 1 lap to green right now.
Yeah, they'll usually take the lap guys being short track racing and put them to the back. iRacing will take care of that on their own. And as we see, let's see, the 23 of Echelon there, he will be getting ready to go on the outside. Pace car lights are off. We'll bring him around. It's a good place to be, that outside line. Again, these guys like to rim ride around this place. 23 can go any second now. The 4 tires of the pace car are off the track. He can hit the loud pedal. Right now, he'll go coming out of turn 3 at the apex. So able to take and get ahead. And fighting back the 38 of Grossier. They're right in his tire tracks now coming down to turn 1.
We're on board with Dante Curtis right now as he started on the inside. He's going to have some cars around him here. 98 of Brandon Klasinski on his outside. Gets into him a little bit. Stays clean. Womack loose off of 2. Everybody's spanning out as they come down the back straightaway. Martin on the outside. He's trying to work his way up. And we have another yellow on the speedway.
Yeah, we're going to look towards the back, see if we can find it here. Got a couple different camera angles. Not seeing any damaged cars as of yet. I'm looking on my end here, Mr. DJ.
Not a problem. I'm going to try to weed through this as well. See what I can find out. But he looks to be in decent position here.
64, I believe he's in the back, but I do see him going slow behind the pack. Yeah, I don't see what happened. I'm trying to look over here on the monitor and not seeing what the caution was for. Not thrown by the officials. iRacing definitely threw it. Trying to figure out what we can do for you. That's actually the first time in like forever that I haven't been able to see replay.
Yeah, I saw everybody kind of at speed. Everybody's still in this one. Looks like everybody's kind of where they should be. A couple cars dropping out. Looks like Kyle Spees in the 36 and Dan Witt in the 44 machine. Those guys just dropping out of this one, so they could have been involved in this, but I can't find out what happened. 8 laps out of 200 down so far. Got a couple Northerners and a couple Southerners right behind them in your top 4.
Yeah, a little bit of info on our leader, by the way, Gary Echelon. He's in the 23 machine out of Machesney Park, Illinois. His sponsor just says Jordan. Been involved in iRacing a year and a half, and man, I'll tell you what, he must be practicing all that time, especially in between races. Doing pretty good up here in front in that Jordan machine. Obviously, now I see that we come down here to the front stripe. Pace car lights are still on. We're going to get these re-racked, double file. And I'm going to probably put money on Echelon taking the outside line to take and do this restart. Now, the cool part about this is if you look at the pace car, where pit entrance is, it's down in turn 3. And by the way, the 64, getting the lucky dog, kind of getting a wave around there. He'll be back up on the lead lap. But the pace car, once those 4 tires are off the actual speedway, right there's your pit entrance to the left of the pace car. Once he's down there and all 4 tires are off the racing surface, anytime from there on out, your leader can hit the throttle and go. So you have all this distance all the way from turn 3 all the way around turn 4 to the start-finish line to hit it before the green. So it's an advantage, especially if you can kind of trick your opponent. A lot of guys will do the same thing every time, and when there's multiple cautions, the second guy kind of gets a chance to see what he's doing and realize it. Now they just got a lot more room to take and psych out your opponent.
Absolutely. Restarts are a huge mind game, definitely an art form as you get up more towards the front of the field. Everybody kind of has their own way of doing it. Some guys jump early, some jump late, like you said. Some mix it up, some keep it the same. So a lot of it's going to be these guys getting used to each other. A lot of these guys up here have raced with each other before in other series. So it's going to be interesting to see what Eschen does here. I know him and Grosser race a lot together. Dante Curtis is in that mix as well. So they're going to learn each other's styles as the season goes on. But right now, this battle at Brownsburg 200, we're going to see what Eschen decides to do.
Well, I'll give you another tip or hint here with these cars. I mean, I know you run them yourself, and I run them myself in the iRacing world. In real world and iRacing, if you take the lower line, you bind up the car, and you actually wear the tires out harder because you're turning it more, you're trying to get more speed out of it, and it basically scrubs the hell, especially out of that right front. So the outside line is where to go to save the tires, especially for a longer run, and use the momentum. So this is the track to do it. You got to run that outer line, and I'm going to keep an eye on a freight train here later on once we see him front to tail. So we'll get the pace car lights are off. He's down in pit road, and I'll let you call the green.
All right, here we go, side by side. Eschen jumps it right in the middle of 3 and 4 this time, a little earlier than last time. Grosser right on him as they come through down the stripe. He's going to tuck in. Curtis is going to try to tuck in. With Klaczynski behind him, works his way to the inside, door to door, all the way back. Side by side, everybody behind him. Somebody spinning down there. Like an orange car.
51 of April, I think. 51 of April.
All right, we'll jump down to it. My board's going crazy down here. I'm going to try to find them.
That's the other thing, too. When you first start with these machines, tires are cold, pressures are down. The pressure's got to come up to get that even rubber across the track, and these guys are just trying to pound it way too early, just overdriving it. As you can see right here, the 51 just losing it on his own. Everybody trying to avoid him, but with that avoidance, it kind of piled up everybody in back of him.
Yeah,
and
right
another 8 or so cars.
Nowhere to go for a lot of these guys. Shearer involved, Dan Witt. 91 machine of Adam Jeeble. Still beating and banging as they run into the 33 car Richard Orr. Fortunate for those guys, farther on back. All those X limits, they count up. A little bit of a rough start for these guys, but 13 laps in, Eschen's still your leader.
Now I'll explain one more thing. With iRacing, they have an X limit or an incident limit, as they call it. So this has a 14X incident limit. So if you don't know what that means, say, for example, you touch a car or you hit a car, whether somebody touches you or you touch them, as we see, I'm seeing the 51 come down pit lane right now with a lot of front-end damage. What happens is they'll get like a 1X or a 2X. Well, with a hard hit, you get a 4X, like this 51. You see the front of his car all beat up. Guarantee that was a 4X. There's a 14X limit. So say, for example, he does that 3 times. That's 12X. Hits another car, boom. What happens is iRacing immediately disqualifies him, kicks him out of the server, and we don't want to see that here tonight. We want to see all 30 of these cars race it to the end, but, of course, a few guys have disconnected because of wrecks, and we've had 3 of them right now, 3 cautions to, for 14 laps as we go.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely going to weed out some of the more troublesome drivers who make the show, but at the same time, it's going to promote really, really clean racing. I know if you hit the wall, it could be 1X or a 2X, depending on how hard you hit it. If you dip your tires off the track, that's another way to build up X's. Losing control of your car, spinning out, that's another way. So 14X limit for 200 laps, Ray, is definitely going to be tedious, and you're going to want to keep the thing controlled as the night goes on. But I don't know. I mean, we started with 30. We may end up with 15 or 10 running at the end of this one. You don't know. Guys in their first series, everybody a little bit anxious. But with a low X limit like that, you're definitely going to see some very tight, close racing and not a whole lot of beating and banging towards the front of the field because these guys definitely want to finish and build up points as the season goes on.
Yeah, yes, sir. I did forget about that. When you do spin or you touch the grass, etc., that will add on. So think about this. The 51 spun, hit the grass, and got hit. So he's probably got at least 10 X's right now against him. He don't want to get involved in another wreck, so that might be the end of his night. He's out there right now. The front end is back on that car, obviously. Crew did a great job patching it up, testing out the front end, a little left and right steering, making sure everything's straight. And we'll get these guys racked back up, and we'll go green again.
Absolutely. Probably getting an EOL, letting a couple guys go by. EOL means end of the line. Usually when these guys cause a caution, if they are the cause of the caution, they will get an EOL penalty, which is just, let everybody by. You're going to start at the tail end of this one. We're slowing the race down, and I'm not sure if they have a 3-and-you're-out rule or anything like that. We'll follow up with that and more rules as the season goes on. But right now, we're gearing up. 1 lap till green. We're going to go back racing here with 17 of 200 laps completed. We're going to line up 2x2.
Actually, that is a correction. They just changed it to a single file restart, bud. With that being said, single file, I mean, it pushes you further back, but it gives a lot more of a easier start without anybody beside you, behind you, and in front of you. Pace car is off right now. The 23 has an opportunity to hit the throttle anytime. He gets a little bump from the 38, letting him know he's back there. 23 taking his time, but once that green flag hit, it's a free-for-all. And we'll see the 23 of Echelon down here right now hit the throttle right just before the green. He'll pull away from Gross here, down by about 3 car lengths going into 1.
Curtis looking to the inside of Grosser as they come down through turns 1 and 2. Little fight here. We'll see if he has some grip coming off turn 2. We see some guys struggling. We move back. We do see that teal number 4 with a little bit of some issues there coming off, getting a little free. Tyler McCray. Guys duking it out. He's looking to the inside of Landon Williams as they come down through turns 3 and 4. Looks like he's going to make the pass and do a little bit of a pavement slide job. Throws it in there, washes up to the high side of the track. It's pretty much the way to get it done around here at ORP.
A little bit of shoving and behind them there, that number 4. Caution out for the 4th time this evening. We'll see what we can get a replay on it and see who it was.
Looks like Mark Shute. A little bit slow there to get going. We'll see if we can get something on him. He's coming out slow. It wasn't him.
Looks like he came out just as the caution flew. And last, right there, Shute stopped on the track waiting for the field to go by. And I believe iRacing called it as a stopped vehicle, hence the caution coming out. And that will cause, again, the 4th caution of the evening.
Unfortunate for him. Count against him. He's going to lose a lap. Already 16 laps down. So to come out and cause another caution here, still delaying a little bit. 20 laps down. Looked like a pretty clean start there with that single file, so I don't see anything wrong with trying to do that one more time. Top guys all still trying to get some laps in. I know these guys are here to race. They have a long time. They want to click some laps off, and haven't really had a chance to do that quite yet, Ray.
Listening to the inboard radio right now, 71 of Kyle Shearer is asking for a look at the last restart. Importantly, he got a black flag for passing under yellow. They're going to take a look at it, see if they can clear it. If that's the case, by the way, he'll have to serve that under green. He can't do it under caution if they don't clear it. So they'll take a look at it, see what happens with the 71 here. That'd be Andrew Schroeder there, 17, excuse me. Kyle Shearer. Kyle Shearer in the 71. He is 1 lap down right now, but if he goes in, by the way, under green to serve that black flag, unfortunately, that's going to put him a 2nd lap down. Able to take and try to get it back. 21 laps in, a long way to go to 200. As again, our leader right now, let's see, the 14 is what you're on, who would be Jesse Womack, one of the persons that we have not spoke about all night, with the exception of the lineup right now in a 6th place, gridded in 6th place. Hasn't moved all that much, but haven't had a lot of green flag laps here either.
Yeah, right now, a lot of these guys trying to work their way up. If they didn't get the run they wanted in qualifying, want to race their way up in this one. And it looked like there was a whole lot of racing action really getting started here. So not too much wear on their tires, 22 laps or so. I know these things can last 60 or 80 laps tire-wise. They are on the new tire model, Ray, so it does take a little bit, like you were talking about earlier, to get rocking and rolling here. These guys are on the same tires, the NASCAR cars here on iRacing, the same physics anyways, and ARCA as well. So it takes 3 or 4 laps, really build up the heat and gain maximum traction and grip. And after that, they're rocking and rolling for about 30 or 40, depending on how rough they are on equipment. Then they start to go away. Cars are going to be slipping and sliding even more than they are now on the new tires. And that's when the racing really gets exciting.
Yeah, these guys got to kind of calm it down in the beginning of the run. It'll give it at least 2 or 3 laps, get these heat in these tires. And again, this caution flag almost feels like we're at Talladega as long as they are. We're one down one more of our sponsors. Again, Kelly's Custom Engraving. Kelly's Custom Engraving is a locally owned and operated business located in Bellevue, North Carolina, specializing in custom engraving, wood, leather, glass, acrylic, and many more materials. Be sure to like and follow their Facebook page to view all of their amazing products and place your order. Kelly's Custom Engraving, again, in Bellevue, North Carolina. And that who has actually made our winner's plaque this evening, who will get this, by the way, again, inaugural plaque this evening as we turn around and take a look up on the screen. The Battle at Brownsburg 200. The winner will get that sent to their house, courtesy of Kelly's Custom Engraving and the North-South Racing League. Again, tonight, 200 laps, lap 24. We're 1/8 of the way coming across the stripe through this. Just a bit of ways to go. Single file restart. Looks like pace car is off and ready to go green.
They're going to group up one more time right on the top side of 3 and 4. Eschen takes off. Pretty good jump. Grosser not going to be able to get anything for him. 2 or 3 car lengths in between them. Dante Curtis right on the rear bumper of the 38, as well as Brandon Klosinski, Phil Martin. Everybody pretty much single file. The teal Tyler McCray 4 looking to the inside of Will Eastman as they work their way down the back straightaway here. Nobody really fanning out. A couple guys rubbing the wall a little farther on back.
Yellow flag is out.
Oh, goodness, the 5th caution for the evening.
We'll
With that being said, we'll see if we can find out. It looks like we even had one underneath another one here. Off of turn 2 down the back stretch. We'll get the replay pulled up here. That looks like the 28, was it?
I'm trying to come back here and find out what.
Take your time, bud. We'll
exactly
take a look at
happened.
mine. Jason Gordon, I believe, the 28 machine. We'll see what happened. I believe he was involved in that. We have a spinner right there. Trying to see the number. It actually disappeared there on the replay. And the 14 goes for an aerial ride. Actually, a little shove from behind. That's the 14th of 14th of Jesse Womack, by the way, who we just talked about not too long ago.
He's all the way up in 6th spot.
Yeah, did I miss something on that? I thought that was a 14. Let's take a look back down through.
Yeah, take a look for me here. A lot of cars receiving damage on that one. A lot of beat up race cars further on back the field. You see as we look down the front straightaway here. A lot of damage. The 71's got some damage. 76, left front on the 34 of Kyle Harbin receiving some damage here.
Finally got the lead car that started that whole thing. It was the 18, by the way. He lost it coming out of turn 1. That'd be Dylan Kalin there in the 18, one of the Southern guys. Tried to straighten it back up. Lost a lot of grip coming down through turn 2. And behind him, the 44 to the 32. That'd be, let me see, the 44 of Dan Witt, obviously. John Masterson, one of the other guys in the 32. Just ready to clobber right into him, unfortunately. And just caused another chain reaction with a lot of guys. 32, no place to go. He'll get a shove from behind with the 81 machine. Just trying to find the numbers up on my screen. Live broadcasting. Got to love it.
Yeah, it looks like he just got loose. Just as you described, kind of caused a little mess. At the same time, he X'd out. That's probably what happened. And we got a little confused there. So
yeah, when he disappeared, like you just said, not to interrupt you, but when he disappeared, that's what happened when we were talking about the 14X limit. So in other words, he just used up all of his X's. The minute you hit for that 14X is done. They take you right out of the server. That was a prime example of that. Of course, it gets you out of the way of the guys that are still wrecking or trying to come through the field. But, man, it kind of sucks there for the 18 there to get booted that way.
Yeah, definitely a quick exit. Not even 30 laps into this one. A few guys out of this one already, like Mark Shute in the 76, Dylan Kalin in the 18, Kyle Shear as well as Adam Jeeble. No, looks like he's in as well. So 3 or 4 cars out. Andrew Schroeder looks like he's dropped out as well. He could be on pit road, but I don't see him. So we'll see what happens a little further on back. Like the 17 of Schroeder is still here. A lot of cars in this one kind of blinking in and out. Still pace car lights on. It's been all Eschen and Grosser up front.
Yeah, these guys have got a little bit of luck on their side because of all the cautions. They're just cruising around, saving fuel, saving some tires, plenty of time to go. Lap 29, now 30 is what they're going to be working. Pace car lights are out. Still single file restart from what I've seen anyways. And that's the best way, I think, to do it right now is the 38 will pull in behind him. Grosser there will start in second. And a big old gap to the third place spot, the 03 of Dante Curtis. Curtis has got to pull up. I think he's looking to get a jump here. That might be legal in this league. And if it is, it's an advantage. So watch that gap there, about 3 car lengths between second and third of Grosser and Curtis. They're in the start. No, Curtis will take and tighten up the field, as well as everybody behind him. Keep an eye on that 03. Likes to learn that third groove instead of the fourth, unlike everybody else.
Yeah, he's definitely trying to work the bottom as they bunch up your top 10 or 12 cars. Ashing off to a good start. Good jump for everybody else behind him. They're also going to follow on through. Klasinski Martin with a good jump, putting pressure right on the 98 machine. As these guys are all still single file as they come around through turns 1 and 2. Bill
Everybody able to make it through.
Yeah.
Caution again.
Not sure what for. Love to get a lap in here, Ray. Oh, man.
Yeah, it's if you notice, a lot of these cautions are happening immediately at the beginning where the tires are still cold, and a lot of guys are just not taking their time. They got to warm these things up, get settled in for a long green flag run. 5 cautions right now for 32 laps. This is not a good score right now.
This is something we don't want to see. Hopefully this doesn't continue as the night goes on. They're doing everything right, though, as far as 14X limit. It's unfortunately going to be a slow start to this one. Hopefully it speeds up towards the end of this one as people start to X their way out and the clean and straight racing starts to happen. People are going to slowly kind of weed themselves out of this one. But, yeah, 2 lead changes only, 6 cautions in 32 laps with 168 laps remaining. Track temps at 75. We'll try to keep an eye on that as the race goes on. The sun's going to start to set. Track's going to tighten up. It's going to be a totally different animal in 100 laps or, 160.
Yeah, I'm believing, by the way, that caution, I'm going to look on my screen, but I think that was caused by the 17 because he ended up just going into the pits and disconnecting just now. So trying to look back at the 17, I don't see any discrepancy or anything like that, but he just, that would be the 17 of Andrew Schroeder, by the way, manually disconnected after he went into the pits. And I see now the 76 there, Mark Shute, also a disconnectee. Not sure if he was involved in it either.
Yeah, not sure what happened. It's kind of hard to tell, man. So much going on, such a little space. We're trying to keep up with everything as it goes on right now. 44 car of Dan Witt, one of our transferees from our last chance race, going to make his way down pit road. Try to figure that thing out, maybe get some tires for it. Started 28th, currently sitting in 24th. Not going to do any worse than that. He just does a little drive-through here, starting at the tail end of the field. Work our way up towards the front here and hopefully get going green as they come around turns 3 and 4 one more time. Hopefully those pace lights go off. Get going one more time.
Yeah, just it's a much more fun event to call green flags than it is caution because, well, you know the rest of that phrase. But with that being said, again, a couple of our sponsors, as I said earlier, we got Kelly's Custom Engraving as well as J&G Hardwood Flooring. And again, you're watching a North-South Racing League. Tonight is the, what did I just say earlier? See that? I'm all ready to go, and I'm still kind of screwed up. It is the battle at Brownsburg here at Lucas Oil Raceway. Again, the winner gets a nice plaque tonight, as well as the bragging rights for the first event of the season and the showdown event, first showdown event of the season. Win. Right now, it looks like Gary Eschlin is in command. Lap 35 is what we're working out of 200. And, we'll hopefully go green here in another lap or two.
Yep, absolutely. Eschen has the 38N out of Fort Atkinson, Wisconsin. 10 years of experience in iRacing for Justin Grosser. Actually an 8-year NASCAR tire specialist. I believe I was talking to him. Worked with Ross Chastain, a couple other guys. So I think that's actually who he's currently with. He's based out of North Carolina right now with one of those teams. So he has his fair share of racing experience. Been a pretty good competitor in the street stock division as well, but they're going to gear up. Single file, lights are off. Ray, let's go racing.
And DJ, I'm going to have to ask you to refresh your feed here in a little bit in Discord. Don't worry about it right now. We'll go back to green and we'll deal with it after. As we see Eschlin right now, single file restart, trying to keep some more green flag laps in the books. Eschlin right now down through turn 3, now to the entrance of 4, and he'll gun it just before the green flag. And at the same time, Grosser just right with him, just a hair behind him. Didn't take and gain a lot off of that throttle immediately off the start. But now it looks like he's to the top side and gain about 2 car lengths away from that 38 in second. And the number 303 is bringing up third place. A little bit skittish off the 98 there coming off of turn 2. That's Brandon Kessler, I believe, the 98. He'll lose rear end, bring it back to the 4th place spot. We have a slider. That's the 46 of Philip Martin. Martin able to straighten it back out. Doing a great job keeping this thing under green.
Martin working his way, did save it there. Grosser looks like he's going to the inside of Eschen as they come out of turn 2. Not yet. We're coming around still pretty clean. Everybody's single file from 1st on back to 10th. All these guys still looking like they want to do some green flag racing, Ray.
Finally got some tire temperatures up to speed. The 38 right now to the rear deck of that 23 of Eschlin. Eschlin to the top side. 38 is still trying to go low in that 3rd groove. He'll get a little bit lower, actually even lower than that. The 03 of Dante Curtis behind him. Now a ball by the wall going down the backstretch. No challenge yet for 4th, but about 3 car lengths back. That may happen sooner than later with the 98 of Brandon Kay. Kay down on the inside as well as the 03 taking up the 2nd groove. Keep in mind, keep an eye on that 03. He's trying that inside to use it for a passing lane. He's shortening up the turn, but he's also slowing the car down and also wearing out those tires quicker than normal. But he'll bring it back right now. Still 3rd place spot. 3 car lengths separate him from 2nd place of the 38 of Grosser. Grosser loses a little bit of traction off of turn 2 and a 6th caution right now in the air.
7th caution, actually, Ray. Hate to correct you on that one.
7th, 13th, by the way, I believe.
Yeah.
It's involved in that.
We're going to jump back and see if we can find out what happened. Looks like he bounces it off the wall with the 37 of Heathcote to his inside. Another
Will Eastman
here. Yep.
Looks like he's trying to run the high side, all alone there on the replay. Third groove, now the fourth. He'll take the wall and obviously collect the 37, and that'll bring him down to the bottom. 37 of Jacob Heathcote, unfortunately involved in that. But Jacob is in the top 10 still, and they'll allow him to do so, or continue there anyways, on the restart. That neat-looking little black stripe with red car there. No sponsors on it. But again, if you want to sponsor one of these guys, I'm sure they wouldn't mind it. And you can get your advertising here on DJ Media.
Yep, the Driving DJ Network going to be here all season long, all 13 races. We're excited to be able to partner up with these guys in their inaugural season. A lot of talent in this one, Ray. I'm excited to call it all season long.
7 cautions tonight. Again, I'm not correcting the talent because up front it's been a great battle. Medium of the pack has been a great battle. In the back seems to be where these guys have got to take their time. I mean, again, they're only on lap 42. We're only not even a quarter way through this race of 200 laps, and these tires got to warm up after about 2-3 laps. That's when the racing gets hot and heavy. And keep an eye, like I said, that 0-3 of Dante Curtis there. The reason I keep pointing him out, he keeps going to the third and the second groove down below where everybody else is up top. And while you're up top, you can carry that momentum and get a killer run out of the turns 2 and 4. But again, on the way in, that 0-3 being so low, I believe he's going to dig those tires up pretty quick.
Yeah, don't know what he's going to do strategy-wise. Definitely has the option when he can take fuel, get some hoops on that thing as well. As long as he's holding on strong here 40 laps in, if we keep getting cautions like that, I don't see it hurting him too bad. But
yeah.
If we get a long run going on here, definitely look for maybe him to slow down or move up a groove to kind of conserve his tires.
A couple guys jumping out of the server right now. The 8 of Clarence Clifton, one of our South guys. Cody Ostrom there in the 73 just disconnected. Unfortunately, it's what it is these guys go a couple laps down. They know they don't have a chance to win or stay up through. But, I disagree with the disconnect in my own opinion. Again, everybody's got their own way about that. My own opinion is I always try to fight it out all the way to the end. Because here's an example. Now, this is a points race, of course. You know that, DJ. So say, for example, right now, I'm looking at the 73 of Ostrom. Ostrom being showed 7 laps down. And the next guy up is Will Eastman and Dan Witt. They're both single laps down in 23rd and 24th place. 22 cars in the lead lap. But say, for example, Dan Witt gets taken out. Not trying to curse him at all, but say the 44 gets taken out and he goes home. Well, now you're continuing on. He goes 8 laps down. You're still 7 laps down. You take over a spot. And that continues to go up through. And with short track racing, that is definite. You got to keep going. So every spot for every point, keep going. Don't disconnect. And by the way, I see the 44 of Dan Witt had a couple of black flags cleared there. I believe that was because of passing under yellow. Not sure if one of the other guys jumped on ahead of him or what the deal was. Regardless, they let him go. But again, I would stay connected, just my own opinion.
Yeah, absolutely, especially if you're going to fight for a championship. I understand it if you're in kind of a checkers or wreckers situation where you just want to come and try to get your W when you can. But, it sucks when you're trying to run for a championship and you can't finish a race off. We got a little bit of a lapper, a little confusing there. Well, we're going to line up, though, as the pace car comes off. We're going to get the green. Lap car starting just ahead of Eschen. Dante Curtis with a big jump on that 38 machine of Grosser down into 1 and 2.
Grosser really hot and heavy right now up front. The 0-3 of Dante Curtis outrun, but we've got 2x2 racing for the number 4 and the number 14 of McRae and Womack, as well as behind him the 89 and the 99 of Williams and Shepard. Seems like a lot of ticket racing, and we have our 8th caution of the evening at the same time. The 4 unfortunately shoves the 99 into the wall. That was because they were slowing down. Well, we'll see what the caution is for this time, bub.
Looks like Richard Orr just bounces it off the wall and absolutely destroys the front end of that black and silver 33 machine. Gonna look like he's gonna tow it down and try to fix the front end. That thing is absolutely destroyed as he came off the corner. These cars so slick, Ray. Unfortunately, another victim to bouncing off that turn 2 wall.
Yeah, like I said, they've got to take their time. I'll keep reiterating it, and they just got to wait for the tires to warm up. It looks like Richard Orr might be taking and driving a modified if he continues on with this event. He's being shown in 22nd. First car now a lap down as we go back across the start-finish line with the pace car. But again, in trying to get that thing fixed so at least it'll steer. Now with this new damage model with these things, keep in mind you can bust ball joints, you can bust tires, you can even blow a tire. That's how much they've gone here in iRacing if you wear it out. But again, got to get some green flags underneath your belt for that to happen. But again, we'll see if we can get him back out. And your leader is still Gary Eschlin on lap 48.
Yep, Eschen in that Jordan-sponsored 23 machine out in the lead one more time. Getting pretty good restarts, Ray. He's keeping a car length or two in between him and Grosser, trying to make it so Curtis can kind of race Grosser and maybe he can sneak away from this field. A lot of hungry cars here, and still we don't know what these guys have as the laps go on. We don't know kind of who's going to rise to the top. Nobody's really had a chance. 1 or 2 laps isn't going to dictate the fastest car on the track. These guys get 5, 10, 15, 20 lap runs. That's when the consistency is going to come in, the wear on the tires and the chassis themselves. We're going to see how these guys can manage their way through this one. 200 laps. Fatigue maybe going to set in towards the later half. Right now, these guys have been chilling for the first 50 laps and not really had much of hard work to do so far.
Yeah, one of the cars I'll point out, Dan Witt in that 44, again, our winner of our feature race, right now being shown in 20th position, but they just gave him a wave around. That'll bring him back on the lead lap, and then bring the 64 of Thomas Stewart in the 21st position. I believe Thomas is going to be a lap down once they cycle through here, but Dan Witt back on the lead lap should be here when they hit the stripe. That'll cycle through and tell us. See the 44 hit the stripe. And yes, sir, I do not see a lap down. He is actually in 19th position. That'll bring, the 51 of Jared Apel in the 20th position. He was one of the guys started up front in 5th position, now back in 20th. Still on the lead lap, though. Again, keep in mind, long way to go. Lap 50 is what they're working. 1/4 of the way through this race. 9 cautions in the book for a quarter of this race. Let's see if we can take and fan these guys out and hopefully get some green flags laps in this time.
Absolutely. Driver out of Hartford, Wisconsin. Little rough start for him, but still fighting through, staying on the lead lap. We'll look to see some more from him later in this one. Try to get these guys lined up one more time. Looks like they're going to get the 1 to go. Somebody else getting a wave around here. It'll be a single file restart again for Eschen. As Grosser's going to line up. Curtis behind him. Everybody warming up their tires and brakes. One more time. Going to try to go green.
And the disconnect gift keeps on giving. Richard Orr there in the 33 machine. Unfortunately, he has disconnected from the server. He was the one involved in that last lap crash. Again, 2 laps down at this point, but it'll go more as we go on. Pace car is off. The 23 ready to hit that loud pedal. A bunch of beating and banging back about 6th and 7th place between Philip Martin and the 4 and 14. Green flags in the air, and we see Echelon hit the loud pedal. Goes to the low side this time off of turn 4. Able to start rim riding immediately down to 1 and puts about 2 spaces between him and second place of the 38 of Gross here.
Everybody else pretty much single file. Nobody putting major pressure on each other. Fanning out a little bit off of turn 2. Looks like everybody made pretty much a clean exit as we cycle through this back half of the field. Eschen still working his way, coming off of turn 4 here. Top 5 single file coming down into 1.
Guys finally settling in here. About the only challenge I see in the top 5 between the 98 and the 46. That's McKay and Philip Martin in that 46. Philip was to his back bumper for quite a bit there, but now 3 laps into this green flag run. Tires are finally warming up. Traction's finally getting involved here as we see from the 5th place of the 46 of Philip Martin machine, a little helmet cam action going down the front stretch, and ahead of him that Brandon Kay in that 98 machine.
Lazinski trying to do everything he has to stay in front of the 46. 38 of Grosser putting a little bit of pressure on Eschen as they come down the back straightaway into turn 3. Dante Curtis in a comfortable spot. I know these guys want to click off some laps in this top 6. They're doing a great job keeping it clean. Farther on back, like everybody's trying to stay single file as well. These guys in the back, though, Clavy with looks like the 10 of Jonathan Cross looking to the inside. We'll think better of it. Line up. These guys are about 13th on back. Like we may have a little bit of a run here going on, Ray.
Battle for the lead, by the way. Justin Grosser took to the inside of turn 2, was able to get a nose out ahead of Echelon. A crossover move off of turn 4. Echelon hit the wall coming out of turn 2, just scraped it a bit, able to hold on to it, but side by side, they'll go down to turn 1. Advantage right now is Grosser on the top side. He'll look back to the bottom like he did last lap. Not the momentum he wanted, but he's to the left for a corner of the 23. Drag race down the backstretch into turn 3, though, goes side by side for the lead right now up front.
And we're going to check in with the guy with the best seat in the house right now, the 03 machine, as these guys are slicing and dicing, doing some crossovers. He's slowly working that 0-3 up into the mix here, right up against the wall. Looks like the 38's going to go to the inside. He sees it happening. He's going to try to find the best lane for that 0-3, keep it wound up, maybe take a little twofer here as they come down through 3 and 4.
Curtis waiting for that wreck to happen. Obviously, it's not right now because of the great racing happening up front for between the top two of Echelon and Grosser. But another battle ensues right behind that 3 of Curtis between Philip Martin and the 46, who is right now on the inside of Brandon Kay in that 98 machine. Been on the inside for the past 2 laps, able to hold it down there, not able to momentum off of turn 2. The 14 takes the advantage of Womack. He's at the outside, now drag racing down the backstretch into 3.
See Martin working his way on the inside. He has the 14 of Womack, like you said, peeking on the right rear quarter. Looks like he's going to get a little bump from him as they come down the front straightaway. Brandon Kay really liking what he sees here as Grosser's putting pressure on Martin as they come through turns 1 and 2. Right on the rear bumper coming off of turn 2. Everybody comes off nice and straight. They're going to work their way down into turn 3.
14 right now. Womack ran the bumper, the 46 of Martin. That's a battle for the 5th spot. Low goes Womack there, side by side. He'll slide it up the track, just about touching the 46. Not enough, though, thank God. We'll take and keep him straight coming off of turn 1. Drag race out of turn 2, side by side. The 14 and 46 of Womack and Martin. Martin with the advantage to the outside, and a new player into it who actually just tapped the wall coming out of 2. The 89 of Dustin Shepard. Shepard on the rear deck lid of that 14 of Womack. Womack holding on to that top 6 spot.
Shepard absolutely making a good run here as he works his way up into this top 7 battle, almost into a little bit of a train here. We'll see if he can make anything happen. You see his teammate a couple spots forward there, Brandon Klasinski, in that mirrored car, the 98 and the 89. These guys teammates here out of Tennessee. They're working their way around through turns 3 and 4. Everybody pretty much single file. Eschen off to a comfortable lead, looking to about 6/10 back to the 38 car of Justin Grosser. But the battle's on right now from 3rd on back.
Yeah, Ashland right now just walking away with it. He finally got into the groove of things. About 8 car lengths between him and now the 38 of Gross here. Fading into a long run. This is the way we wanted to see these green flags happen. Single file for the most part. A few bit of passing going on. Philip Martin right now, actually from, let's see, 3rd all the way back to about 7th or 8th. Throw a blanket over those guys. Nose to tail. The 46 of Philip Martin in the middle of that whole mix, but still holding on to that 98's rear bumper as they come around turn 2. Looking to the inside again. He'll give him a little love tap out of 2, letting him know he's there. He did apologize over the radio. That's all right. Backed off, so nothing ventured, nothing gained. Actually, it was an advantage for the 98 because that gave him a little bit of a speed boost. Again, up front of him, looks like a lap car 32 machine. He'll get out of the way as we get to the top side, and these guys are finally spreading out for a long green flag run.
At the same time, Shepard really putting the pressure on the 46 as they work their way on through. Big run off of turn 2, trying to figure out which way he wants to go. Setting up that 46 car. We saw his teammate bounce off the wall. Womack in this one as well. Big 3-car battle here for 5th, 6th, and 7th between Martin, Shepard, and Womack. And at the same time, Brandon Klasinski working his way to the inside of the 03 car Curtis as they go through turns 1 and 2.
Challenge for 3rd place spot. Curtis of the outside, Brandon Kay on the inside, the 98 machine. Can't pronounce his name half the time, Krzyzewski. I might be able to get that right, but Brandon Kay's on my screen. We'll go with that. Side-by-side racing down through turn 3. Behind them is separated by Philip Martin. We got 2 other guys, Womack and the 89 Shepard, who just beat Doors coming out of turn 4. Side-by-side, it goes 2-1, then 2 side-by-side.
These guys fighting nice and hard. Womack to the inside, trying to get a run there. You're going to see these guys on the high side, as long as they don't make contact, get a little bit of a run coming down. Martin going to work his way to the inside of Curtis through 3 and 4. Door to door, 2 rows back behind Brandon Klasinski. Eschen Grosser loving this action. These guys look like they're ready to line up for the next heat race as they don't even touch coming off of turn 4.
I'll tell you what, Martin did a huge move there coming through turn 4. Actually right to the inside when he entered turn 3, 2 by 2. These guys putting on an incredible battle. Right now, 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th. As we go back through the field, the outside 0-3 of Dante Curtis. He is holding on to that. He'll tap the wall coming through 3. 3 wide will make it. Philip Martin up ahead of that 3 wide pack, and they'll come down to the stripe with Martin out front.
Small mistake there. The 99S of Landon Williams is going to work his way up into this battle as well. Curtis going to drop 3 spots in this mix, all the way down to 8th spot as he was sitting pretty in 3rd earlier. A lot of time left in this one. These guys getting comfortable with how they're racing their new competitors here in this new series. We're going to learn how these guys all race. Curtis making his way down to the inside off of turn 4. Looks like he's going to stick his nose there, tuck in as they go down into 1.
Curtis, I'll tell you what, smart move if he went to the back there. He's got a long way to go. Lap 69 is what we're on of 200. He's just got to keep in that groove. Tires are all nice and toasty. They'll last for quite a while. Nose to tail right now from Martin all the way back to Curtis. That's actually, let's see, Martin is 4th all the way back to 8th. Nobody to the better, to the inside. Actually, I'm looking right now. Curtis trying to get past that 99 as, let's see, 99 are Landon Williams there, taking over the 7th place spot. Curtis in 8th now. Still no challenge from the back as we see the rear bumper there on the 44 machine going down the backstretch.
See these guys fanning out a little bit. Looks like the 14 of Womack going to the inside of Martin. A little bit of a slide job. Still going to stay there on his rear quarter panel. Going to try to slide up. Martin going to keep there, bounce it off the wall a little bit, rub the paint off the side of that Hoosier tire. Down into turn 1, going to keep it up on the top side. Womack not going to flash up into the top just yet, but he is going to get the position going down off of turn 2. Little position swap there as they come around. We're on lap 71 of 200.
Womack takes over that position from Martin. Martin right now back to what's going to be 5th place position. Still a top 5 yet. Big battle behind him between Shepard, Williams, and Dante Curtis. Curtis still trying that lower line as he comes around. Now kind of keeping in the 3rd groove as he gets past to the outside of the 99 machine of Landon Williams. Williams right now touching the rear bumper of the 89 of Shepard as they come down the backstretch into turn 3. Dante Curtis now to the back bumper of the 99. Just a lot of shuffling in the top 5 all the way back to the 8th and even 9th place positions.
Absolutely, a lot of racing as we look a little on farther back. I saw some guys side by side. Jonathan Cross looking to the inside of Apel as he made his way by. A little farther back, Adam Jeeble, Jeff Mathis, Matt Cook, all these guys slicing and dicing in their own version of a race as well, as these guys are about half a track back, but no shortage of action from these guys 13th on back.
New player into the mix in that little fight up front looks to be the 37 of Jacob Heathcote. Heathcote in 9th place position right behind the 03 of Dante Curtis. Curtis holding that outside line ahead of him, Landon Williams, and ahead of him, Shepard there in that 89, Dustin Shepard. All of them in a bunch right now. The 37 of Heathcote joining the mix, and a great battle right now between the 99 and 03 as Curtis takes to the 3rd groove on the inside, but the 99 fighting back there a little harder with that momentum on the outside.
You really see the 37 end wheeling it as he comes off at turn 4. He's going to try to get a run, maybe get a spot away from the 03, but Curtis on the inside actually making it stick. He's not getting a little free on the bottom, and at the same time, the 99 ahead of him, nowhere to go, with Shepard just ahead of him, so he can't really get a big run, but here comes Heathcote to the inside of Curtis as they make their way through turns 3 and 4.
Now we have a challenge for the 7th and 8th place spot. Curtis there still holding the high side, but let's see if he can dive to the inside this time. No, he'll keep to the outside, but just inside the 99. 99's on the outside line. They're only a half a car length between those two, and the 37 falls back about 2 lengths just in the line to stay to the outside, waiting to pounce, but he did try it once. He tried getting down to the 2nd groove to the inside of Dante Curtis. Curtis didn't block him by any means. They race side by side, but as I'm talking about this, Curtis goes down as far as the yellow line coming through turn 4 to gain a little bit up on the 99 of, 99 of Landon Williams.
Landon Williams pressuring the 89 car of Dustin Shepard. He's going to make a move there as they move to the inside. We'll see if we can get that Budweiser street stock. A little bit of a slide jump. Can't complete the pass as they come around through turns 3 and 4. Curtis trying to capitalize on it as well. Still door-to-door. In the preferred line is Shepard. All the way down to the bottom of the racetrack. So the 99 is going to wash up. At the same time, Shepard may be slowing up. Going to work his way with Curtis right on his rear bumper. 99 in the preferred groove now. Landon Williams going to look, and he's going to have pressure from the 89. A little swapperoo like we saw earlier with Eschen and Grosser. But up front, still a big second lead for Eschen. All the racing action right here on your screen.
Yeah, we're looking at the leader just for a moment. Gary Eschlin, by the way, he is pulled away by a second to the 2nd place spot of Justin Gross here in that 38 machine. But the 38 has got Brandon right behind him, Brandon Kay. And that 98 machine behind him, Jesse Womack, has been fighting, by the way, with Philip Martin for the past 5 laps. From keeping an eye on that, Martin goes a little bit closer to the bottom of the groove in there, in the 3rd groove, while the 14 of Womack stays up top. And again, there's a little bit of a swap this time, actually, as I'm watching Martin to the higher groove. Able to catch him, making up about a quarter of a car length on that 14 of Womack. I believe we're going to have a swapping or at least a challenge for the place for 4th place here in another lap or 2.
Yeah, Martin trying to figure out where he's faster than the 14 car at as they work their way around for lap number 81 this time by, or 80. And Martin just following him in. He's going to see if he can get this thing cut down to the left. You see a slow car on the bottom of the racetrack. Maybe slow up Womack here as they come off of turn 2. Bouncing off the wall. Look out.
Slow car 64 there of Thomas Stewart, able to get out of the way. It looks like he touched the fence a little bit. Was able to let those guys go by, but looks like right now the biggest challenge they see, 0-3 again, Dante Curtis. Outside of him, the 89 is Shepard, and we have that new guy in the mix, Jacob Heathcote in the 37. He is in 9th position, but he is right to the rear bumper of Shepard. He'll look to the inside this time, get to the left rear corner just enough with the nose coming down the back chute, but he won't be able to hold it there. He'll fall back into line behind the 89, trying a little bit of a lower groove and a little bit of help behind him. By the way, a new guy, James Polsky there in the 93 machine. Where'd he come from right now in 10th place?
Yeah, a lot of these guys making their way up as all the slicing and dicing goes on. Looks like it's kind of split into 2 races here as the top half of the field doing their own thing. The back half of the field a little farther back doing their own thing, trying to make some time up as their single file. And a little farther back, Gary Eschen just behind him. Looks like he's lining up the 44 machine of Dan Witt to put him 1 lap down.
Dan Witt right now is, yes, your last car on the lead lap as your leader is starting to catch him, unfortunately. Dan Witt, again, our winner of our heat event tonight, still able to hold on to it. But Philip Martin, man, he's just on a rail tonight. Excuse me, not Philip Martin, Gary Eschlin. Right now, 3/4 of a second ahead of him, 0.774 last time at the stripe. We'll see what happens this time as we see the 23 cross. 0.661. Our second place of Justin Gross here is catching up to the leader bit by bit.
Yeah, Grosser trying to see if he can get that long run game going, but at the same time, he's got only a couple cars back to Brandon Klasinski in that 98 machine. A couple North drivers leading this one in first and second. Then you got a Southern Tennessee man there in that 98. Then a couple more Northerners there in Womack and Martin rounding out the top 5. And you got a couple South guys as well. So great mix up here of Northern and Southern drivers. And here we go, a little battle for second spot as Brandon Klasinski looks to the inside of Grosser coming down the back straightaway. We'll see if we can make something happen here in the ensuing laps.
He tries for the inside off of turn 2, but loses a little bit of ground coming down the back stretch. As we see now, our leader puts the 44 lap down. That'll give a little bit of lap traffic for our second and third place guys, Grossier and Brandon Kay. Brandon Kay a little bit lower line there, like I said, through the turn 2 groove. He'll go down to the third instead of ride the wall like the 38 of Grossier is doing. Grossier is pulling away with that momentum just a little bit. 2 car lengths separate second and third.
Not sure what happened to the 99 of Landon Williams. Looks like he's going to make his way down pit road as he was all the way up into the spot. Maybe some green flag stops going underway here, Ray.
That's what it looks like right now. I believe he's in 10th place according to this. And I think another couple guys will be taking and pitting here shortly. Lap 88 is what's working on right now. Keep in mind 200 is the goal. Second and third place between the 38 and the 98. As I see, by the way, the 14 and now our leader, the 23, comes down pit lane.
Guys all doing some green flag stops. Grosser's going to stay out, lead a lap, get some points right on the rear bumper of Dan Witt. As they come down, he's going to get him a little shove there. Maybe wanting him to go a little lower there as a lap car, but the pressure's building up for Grosser as he has the 98 of Brandon Klasinski and Phil Martin. These guys all still staying out. We'll see what they decide to do. Klasinski makes a sharp left-hand turn. He's going to go down pit road. Martin going to keep that 46 out there following Grosser. So far, the 2 cars that haven't pitted are your leaders right now in the 38 of Justin Grosser and Philip Martin in the 46 machine, currently in second.
Keep an eye right now as we come around to lap 90. Again, our leader, the 38, Justin Grosser, still full throttle down the backstretch, going to line us up as long as he can go. So let's put it this way. If a green flag run for gas is roughly, right now it shows 90, but we had a lot of cautions. So say, for example, it's about 60 laps. So these guys are going to have to pit at least 1 to maybe even 2 more times to complete this race. So here's the 46 and 38 way out front. They're going to have at least right now it looks like about 4 extra laps of on the tank that they have where the leader went in. So they'll be able to go in, get their fuel, get their tires, come back out with 4 extra laps longer than what the leaders will have. So that might be an advantage longer on this run, especially if we get a caution or 2 between now and then. I'm really hoping we don't jinx that, though, as I'm saying that.
Yeah, definitely don't know what's going to happen. Currently 4 cars on the lead lap. So the Kyle Harbin machine, the 34, has come down 4 times already down pit road. He's currently sitting in 4th, though. Dan Witt actually in 5th. He's a lap down as well. The first car 1 lap down, maybe hoping for a caution as we're on lap 92. But still, Grosser and Martin staying nose to tail. and they're looking at the 99 with some awesome speed as he has some fresh hoops. He's going to try to work his way around these leaders here. Maybe get a lap back. A couple cars 2 laps down. Only 2 cars. Martin's going to make his way down this time by.
Yeah, with that all being said, Dan Witt, the number 44, who went down a lap just before our leader pitted, keep this in mind. He pitted earlier, I believe, because he was involved in the wreck, got that car fixed, came back out. He'll have more fuel than anybody. So with him being up front, he should be able to get his lap back this time around. We'll see what happens. He's down the backstretch as I'm saying this. And with that all being said, we'll see where everybody falls into place. So if he gets back on the lead lap, he'll be the leader once these top 4 cars pit, which obviously Grosser's in, etc. But if he's the leader and a caution comes out, he'll be right in the perfect position to lead this field back to green.
Absolutely. The one car not to pit yet is that 38 machine, just getting passed by Landon Williams there in that 99. See if he decides to make a left-hand turn here. Last time I raced with Grosser here at ORP, Ray, he saved a lot of fuel and ended up winning on fuel strategy, doing something like he's doing now. So might be doing a little half throttle action. We can go on board, see if we find out what's going on.
Yeah, taking a look here, I don't see his throttle, of course. They won't show that because of the fact that it is an opponent and what session we're in. But he's still getting to the bottom side, which will shorten up the track, like I said before. Right there, down that third groove. A little bit lower, a little bit shorter. That'll save some fuel in the long run instead of running that wall all the time constantly. And one other guy doing this, by the way, we haven't talked about him all night, the 34 of Kyle Harbin. Kyle Harbin right now being showed in the second place position. Started 15th. He has not pitted yet. And, new player into this whole top 5 deal. So keep an eye on that 34 of Kyle Harbin. We'll see where he goes for the rest of the night.
Yeah, he's made 4 stops down pit road, so definitely could be good on fuel.
Grosser's pitting, buddy.
He is making his way down, so we're going to have a new leader this time by, as the 34 had a 15-second gap, but he has a short stint on his tires. Let's see, he has 55 laps on his tires. So Harbin, Witt, and Stewart all with 55, 56, and 49 laps. Everybody else has made their rotation on through. Jesse Womack looks like he might be one to look out for, but we'll see how fast Grosser can come out here this time.
Now, depending on how far the 34 can go for his fuel mileage. Right now, Grossier's pit was past the start-finish line, so Grossier led that last lap while he's in getting fuel and tires. Here comes Harbin around right now, who was in second. That should put him up front right now, at least scored. Yes, sir. That'll put him as a leader, and he'll score 1 led lap tonight, so that'll be a point in his pocket, so that'll help him out. Grossier still in the pit, ready to come off, still shown in second. Dan Witt right now in the third place, now actually moving up to second place as he goes across the stripe. And once Harbin pits, which we're kind of keeping an eye on, it looks like he got wrecked in the front. There's a little bit of damage on that hood. Theoretically, I think he's already pitted, got some tires and fuel early. We're not sure how long he can go, but that puts him right in a great position to lead this race. Again, same theory with the caution. If it was to come out right now, it'd put Harbin in the catbird seat to take a lead back to the green.
Absolutely, Ray. Justin Grosser's making his way out, dropping all the way back to 10th spot. He's 2 laps down right now. Jesse Womack, the only car 1 lap down, and the only 3 cars on the lead lap are shown on your screen. Kyle Harbin, Dan Witt, and Thomas Stewart with 7 stops on pit road. So you got to think that thing's overflowing with fuel. He's sitting there in 3rd spot after getting around a couple times earlier in this one. But we're halfway, Ray, as we come around through 3 and 4.
Lap 101 is what we're leading right now with that 34 of Kyle Harbin on the point. Being challenged by the 91 with fresh tires, but the 91 of Adam Gable won't have any of that. Gable right now is actually 6 laps down, so nowhere to go. He can just follow behind, not a big deal. Again, depending on how far Harbin can go with that machine, he'll let the 91 to the inside go by. Dan Witt is the only other car on the lead lap. Right now, Thomas Stewart in a 64, first car lap down. Jesse Womack 1 lap down. And to give you an idea how this cycled through, Gary Eschlin in a 23rd, who was our leader to begin with, 2 laps down, DJ, right now in a really bad spot. But again, once these guys pit, able to catch back up. Hopefully it'll give him a lap back, or at least maybe 2, depending on how far he goes. Right now, Kyle Harbin, fuel strategy all the way for that 34 machine up front.
Yeah, a lot of these guys weaving their way around the 64 machine, even though he's in 3rd, a lot slower on some older tires. But right now it's all Kyle Harbin, as he has that fast pack working their way up to him. But he has a 2-lap lead on him, Ray, and a caution could be very detrimental to everybody that's not on the lead lap. And they're not going to be able to make their way around to get a wave around because there's 2 cars 1 lap down. So Looks like the 34 is trying to break stream there, trying to get some clean air only on his machine. But right now he's taking the laps off, coming around the lap 105.
Keep an eye out behind him. Here's our leader, or was the leader, Gary Eschlin, 2 laps down. It looks like he's going to drive his way back to one more to get back on the 1 lap down. Excuse me, I was going to say lead lap, but he'll have 1 lap down. He's 2 laps down right now. So he is catching him quite quickly. If the caution does not come out and he can pass him, looks like he'd be able to get back up on the lead lap. And with those fresher tires, by the way, he might be able to lap him again. So that'll bring him back to the front, to the inside of the leader. He will go 34, as well as the 98 of Brandon K there. The 46 of Martin will follow suit. And behind him, Dante there, Curtis in the 03. The number 4 machine actually is 3 laps down. That's Tyler McRae, unfortunately, but he's with that pack. And it looks like Shepard in the 89 will go to the inside of that number 4. Everybody's kind of trying to freight train that leader to get what they can for laps back. But our guys right now, with 1 lap down, Gary Eschlin now being shown 1 lap down. Same thing with the 98 and the 46 of Martin. Right now, 5 guys 1 lap down behind the leader, and the 44 of Dan Witt still being showed in 2nd place spot. Perfect place to be for that 44. Again, if a caution comes out, this could get awful interesting with 2 cars on the lead lap.
Absolutely, this fast pack here trying to work their way around the 34. All these guys still 1 lap down, even though they're passing the leader. So they're all not going to get the wave around, I don't believe, Ray. If 6 cars can, everybody would have to pit or whatever the case is for that. So we would definitely want to put the race on. Womack is ahead of these guys by a long shot. He's 16 seconds ahead of Eschen. So if anybody's going to get the 1 lap back, it's going to be Womack as he makes a pass on the 64. That's for position. And Womack right now, the first car 1 lap down. So a caution would put him right up in the lead with the freshest tires as the 34 and the 44, both with 67 laps. He has 19 laps on his tires. So right now, he's technically the fastest car on the new set of tires, 16 seconds ahead of Eschen, Brandon K, Philip Martin, Dante Curtis, that whole gang in that top 5 or former top 5. Those guys are currently 5th through 8th.
Yeah, you got to keep in mind it all depends when they pitted. So I'm thinking that Womack was an early pitter from what I remember anyways, and that's why he's got a few more laps on them tires, but still, man, you can manage him, and he's doing a great job of that. Like you said, first car lap down, now being shown in 3rd place, which is this is a wild little ride here between Harbin and Witt there with the fuel mileage they're getting. Again, they didn't pit with these guys. They were involved in early wrecks, so that's why when they got their tires and their fuel early, getting their cars repaired, it was a very smart thing to do at that point in time. Harbin right now just way out front, over 1 minute, believe it or not, from what I'm seeing. Nope, we meant 10 seconds back to DeWitt. Actually, I'm incorrect in saying that. DeWitt, 10 seconds back in 2nd place. That's about 50 car lengths or so. And our leader right now in a pack, he got the 4 car ahead of him. The leader right now, 34, Kyle Harbin, just about touch the fence coming down through turn 4. And it looks like the 4 just passed him to get his lap back. But again, the 4, Tyler McRae, still now 2 laps down. Was 3 a couple laps ago. So good move for Tyler. He's slowly gaining back there on the leader.
And we'll see how long this fuel can be stretched out. Everybody, I think, is going to have to stop 1 more time for fuel, regardless if it's one of these guys in this fast pack here or our leader, Kyle Harbin. He has a lot of laps, 71 on this current stint right now. So we'll see if he can stretch this out any farther. I want to think he only has about 10 or 20 laps. Ray, crazy. We went from 8 cautions in the first 50 to a super long run, and I'm really enjoying it.
Well, let's put another thing in perspective there, DJ. If this continues green to the end, Harbin really played the game right, the chess game, we'll call it that way, as he goes to the inside of 4, looking to put him 3 laps down right now. He's trying to get to him, but I would not do that if I was him. My own opinion, just follow him. You're not gaining or losing anything by passing him, by staying behind him. Stay where you're at. You've got a heck of a long lead as he goes to the inside again. Maybe he thinks he's holding them up. Now you're wearing those old tires out down there in that 2nd groove. The 4's got a lot of momentum to the outside, and he'll pull away there coming off of turn 2. But that 34 of Harbin, you got to run this a little bit smarter, dude. Actually, as I say that, he's coming down pit lane. That's why he was on the other side, and that'll give these guys an opportunity to get back on the lead lap.
At the same time, we'll see Witt came down as well, so everybody seems to make such a long cycle as they really stretch this one out. Currently, Jesse Womack made his way up. He's going to wrap his car around as our leader hits his pit spot right now. Womack currently coming around down the back straightaway. And you see our leader midway through the front stretch, so we'll see what he decides to do. But right now, Jesse Womack is on the lead lap. Everybody's starting to get their laps rotated back. So thankfully, no cautions for them. New leader, lap 115, the 14N of Jesse Womack.
Womack right now playing it smart. Harbin still has a chance at this. Do not count him out if this thing goes green, because, again, he's taking his pit now, depending on how long you go. You said 77 laps on his tires, if I'm not mistaken. With that being said, that was before he pitted. I know that, so he's probably about 80 laps. He still will not have enough to get to the end, but he can pit earlier, depending on what these guys do. If they pit at lap, we'll say 140, I'll give that just a kind of a theory behind it. They can make it to the end. He can't. So the fuel strategy would be right out the window. Right now, 8 guys right now on the lead lap. That includes Womack, Stewart, Martin, Eshland, Brandon Kay, Dante Curtis, Landon Williams, and Justin Grossier. Our top 8 right now on the lead lap, and that puts the 93 of James Polsky there in the 9th place. 1 lap down, started 18th right now in 9th place.
Yeah, Womack just making his way around the 34 car as they come through turns 1 and 2. Come all the way up to 4th to 13th. We'll see if the 34 can conserve that, maybe catch a couple cautions, get that machine saved up, and maybe do a little fuel strategy towards the end. Definitely interesting twist to this one. Currently, Womack, your leader, 8.4 seconds ahead the 64 car of Thomas Stewart. Phil Martin made a pass on Gary Eschen, and he looks like he's pulling away as he comes down through turns 3 and 4. A lot of space between him and Eschen, as Eschen not looking as sporty as he was earlier, and he has a field of cars behind him, all for position. Brandon Cage, Dante Curtis, and Landon Williams a little on farther back, but that 03 and 98 are definitely going to keep that 23 honest as this pack of 4th, 5th, and 6th work their way down the back straightaway.
There were 30 that started this race. We are down to 20 guys, and that leads the 32 of John Masterson in 20th, 15 laps down, but still going. This is what I said before. Keep going. Let everybody else drop out if you wanted to. And he did the smart thing. Even though he's 15 laps down, he gained at least 4 or 5 positions to stay out. So very smart thing right now on the 20th place of the 32 of John Masterson, but back up front. As you were saying about the battle between Curtis and Brandon Kay. Also ahead of him will be Gary Eschlin, which used to be our leader, who now is in 4th place. Started 2nd on the outside of the front row. So these guys are going to get together, start battling out a little bit. Philip Martin in 3rd, by the way, started 8th. Made his way up through the field. Great run for him right now in the top 3, a podium finish if it was to finish like this. All the way at the end, lap 121 is what we're on.
Yep, Dante Curtis trying to set his sights on the 98S of Brandon Klasinski as Klasinski works his way to the inside of the 23 of Gary Eschen coming down the front straightaway for lap number 123. He's going to be door-to-door. Look to the inside here, but the 03 working the high side here. Good rolling corner for the 98 as he comes through 1 and 2. Dante Curtis trying to figure out which way to go coming down the front straightaway. He's going to peek that DCD machine out to the outside, following the Jordan 23 of Gary Eschen through turns 3 and 4. Klasinski going to get a little snug there coming through 3 and 4. Curtis going to get the spot.
Eschen able to hold on to that 3rd place spot as Curtis behind him takes over 4th with a little bit of battle with the 98 for a little bit. Brandon Kay looks like he's going to try that inside again. He's to the redecola of the 23 of Eschlin. Eschlin down the backstretch into turn 3, a little bit of lap traffic ahead. That's not going to affect it this time. Down to the low line, that 0-3 will go. Shorten up the track. Get to the rear bumper a little bit tighter now, about a quarter of a length back. It is a battle for the top 30 spot right now. Ashland with the advantage on the outside. Dante Curtis using his 3rd line. But watch out for the 98 of Brandon Kay behind them. Brandon Kay following Curtis down through and keeping up with these guys. Looks like a 3-car battle for the top 3 spot.
Absolutely. These guys still duking it out as we look on the back view of Kyle Spees in the 36N. He's currently running 17th, and he has this hungry pack right behind him. We come around to lap 125. Curtis still looking to the inside of the 23. You can get anything rolling. Klasinski just tried it. Looks like Curtis having a little bit better luck this time. Can't quite clear the 23 as they work down into 3 and 4. They're slowly reeling in the 36 car of Speeds. Door to door right now, coming out of turn 4.
Speed's a lap car might become a factor here going down the front stretch as these guys drag race into one. Curtis with the advantage, nobody in front of him. Of course, Echelon to the outside. Even though he's got the momentum, he's going to have that lap car. We watch the 98 now go to the low side. He'll catch the back left third corner of that 23, pull back into position. 1, 2, 3, all the way down through front to rear bumpers. And the 36 taking a little bit of a lower side, and Curtis using a little bit of the draft, coming down through turn 4 to pull away from the 23 of Echelon.
Yeah, going to be a little bit tricky here for Curtis as he's going to have to navigate his way around the 36 machine. Philip Martin currently 13.9 seconds, so keep that number in mind, 13.8, slowly gaining on the leader. Last time by, Martin was 5 thousandths faster than Womack. We'll see if he can continue on with that. But as we're talking, Gary Esch and Brandon Klaczynski duking it out right now for 4th and 5th. Justin Grosser's behind this battle. He's not quite in the mix of his own quite yet. Landon Williams back to 7th. And a lot farther back, 6 seconds back, is the 93N of James Pileski.
And Womack, no, let me interrupt you. Womack pulls off of the pit lane now to get his pit service for the final run, or the final leg of this. At 1:29 right now is what they're working. Philip Martin will take over the top spot, but I think that might be a really good call for Womack in that 14 machine.
Definitely a different strategy call here. If we get a caution out a little later, he may catch these guys and everybody be on the same lap. Not sure what's going to happen here, but only coming down to about 70 laps to go, and I know nobody but currently Womack are going to have enough fuel to make this thing happen. Martin working his way around that lap machine there. The door number's scraped off, so I can't really read it, but Curtis is going to be in 2nd. Gary Eschen is going to be in 3rd. Brandon Kay right behind the 23 machine, and Justin Grosser's going to round out your top 5. Maybe look one more time for everybody to short pit, some guys to stretch it out. We don't know what can happen here. Just remember the 34 of Kyle Harbin pitted with about 75 to go, so we'll see if maybe he tries to stretch this one out and do what he did last time and keep that 34 out front for the long haul.
Lap 131, Martin is the leader, Dante Curtis in 2nd. To give you an idea, it's 2.82 seconds back to 2nd place. Now, Martin right now is going down the backstretch. Let's see, where is Curtis? Curtis is coming out of turn 2. We have a good, probably third of a track difference between these guys. But if you look behind Curtis, Gary Echelon in the 23 and Brandon Kay battling out there for that 3rd place spot. Echelon still holding on to it like he did before, but Curtis has got to run. He's actually pulled away from him by about 6 or 7 car lengths coming down through turn 2. Philip Martin, though, entering into turn 3 is way out front. Again, separated almost by 3 seconds back to the 2nd place of Curtis.
Yeah, that gap slowly shrinking down, 2.866, 2.899. It's kind of bouncing forward and back. The top 2 cars running 24.7s each, and they're a little bit faster, about a tenth or so faster than these guys duking it out, with Klaczynski and Eschen maybe making a little contact there in between turns 1 and 2. Coming around 133 laps completed, we got a side-by-side battle for 3rd. As we come down into 3 and 4, maybe Brandon Klaczynski getting a little frustrated there with Eschen. It's really tough to pass here, especially as the laps start to tick off. These guys with about 40 to 50 laps on their fresh set of tires they got.
Well, we go back right now behind the 2398 machine to the 38 of Justin Grosser. Keep in mind, Grosser, 2nd place for the most part in the beginning, was able to lead a few laps. He's got a challenge behind him for the 5th place spot in the 99. And it looks like Williams has got that run off the turn. Now they go into turn 3. That slows the run just a little bit. Side by side off of turn 4. He has a run, but again, the momentum wins again with that 38 off the top side.
Yeah, we're going to see if the 99 can slide that machine out. Looks like you got a little free there going into turn 1. Going to lose a little bit of traction there on the 38 machine. So far, so good for these guys. Up into the top 10, Jonathan Cross with a pretty good run. He started all the way back in 14th. Matt Cook as well, all the way back from 29th. So 20 spots moved up for him in that 15 machine. Great run for him. A lot of spots gained, good to see. As well as Tyler McRae in that 4 car, started 12th up to 10th. All these guys duking it out, battles all over the racetrack. Currently, that lead to 2 seconds for Phil Martin on Dante Curtis.
The 44 machine just passed our leader. A little bit fresher tires, was able to get a lap back. That would be the 44 of Dan Witt. Again, our winner in a feature, the heat race this evening. Not able to pull away from him, but he did get 1 lap back. Now down -1 lap. If he stays in that position, the leader let him by. He's got tons of time. You know, I say this, but Dante Curtis is still in 2nd place. It went from 2.8 now to 2.0. So Curtis is gaining on the leader using that lower line there, shortening up the track. Just a matter of time now. We'll see if we get a battle for the lead.
Absolutely no no saving fuel for the 0-3 machine. Philip Martin, don't know what he's doing as far as fuel saving strategy. He's on 44 laps. He's on 6-lap newer tires than the 0-3 machine. So he could be laying low here, just trying to click off laps, leading them stay clean. Remember that 14x limit might be starting to come into play here. A lot of these guys beating and banging all race long. So 20 cars still going the distance, but a lot of these guys could have 6, 8, 10 points, which is only 2 or 3 hits onto their chassis. So everybody pretty much racing careful. Love seeing this green flag action. 140 laps complete. Coming around to it, Martin just using that 44 car to draft up. Still holding a 2.2 second lead on Dante Curtis.
Yeah, I stand corrected on that because he is pulling away from the second place of Curtis. Not sure how he caught up so quick, but now that time is growing. 2.119 as the 46 now is getting a little frustrated with the 44, it looks like, and he'll allow him to put him 1 lap down again. That'll be minus 2 laps for the 44, and it gives some breathing room for the 46 of Martin to pull away from this field. Martin using that high side, 44 to the low side. He'll try to fight to get that lap back, and now's the time to do it. But again, don't block that leader. Don't allow him to take and get held up because that's going to hurt him in the long run. 2.11 now just went to 1.975 between the top two. But keep in mind that was the pass, too. So he took a shorter way around, slowed the car up a little bit. Caution is out on the speedway for the 10th time this evening.
Like the 4 car of Tyler McRae. We'll see if we can find out what happened this time by. We see him through 3 and 4. Looks like Womack works his way to the bumper, gets into the left rear of the 4. Nowhere to go for the 4 car other than straight into the inside barricade.
Yeah, Womack, a little bit too much steam there coming off the corner. I think, don't think it was on purpose by any means, but again, he did get him in the left rear corner, spun him around. That's our 10th caution of the evening. Womack, by the way, keep in mind, fresher tires, okay? He just went and pitted in. He's able to make it to the end. He's only 1 lap down now. So that won't put him on the front, but it'll put him on the lead lap once these guys cycle in. So now will be the perfect time as we see these guys coming off into pit lane and getting their service done for the final time of the night.
This is going to be the money spot or stop. You don't want to have any instances here of messing up, slipping your pit. You want to fuel this thing up, get 4 tires as these guys are going to duke it out. This top 7, all these guys were 6 seconds back as we see the 99 slip in his pit. We'll see how these guys shake out and work their pit stops as they work on. Right side tires already done on the 46 machine. See the left side go up here shortly. Going to fix any damage. He's going to fuel that thing up. Doesn't want to run out of fuel. I know what that's like here as you race all these laps and you run out. I actually ran out through turns 1 and 2 coming to the last lap when I raced here last time, and it's very frustrating. So keeping that thing topped off and filled up. So far, nobody making their way up off. Looks like Matt Cook made a stop there. He came off good. We'll see if he moves up here. Grosser's going to make his way off.
I didn't see any tires getting on the 46 on the left side. I seen the right sides go up. I didn't see the left sides. Yeah, so that gives him an advantage to get it fueled quicker. But on the same note, hopefully he got all 4. Didn't see the Jackman there, so it was a tough call. But he did get it filled up for the end. Now, again, this is going to be the long run, lap 143. Usually you can get about 60 to 70 laps in a window here. They're definitely well within a 60-lap window, but with this caution, it's going to help, and that'll get him to the end.
Yeah, we'll see what goes on here as they rotate on through. Currently, your leader shown as Matt Cook in the 15S, but he's going to work his way to the tail end of this one. See who's going to wrap around here. A lot of guys getting waved around. A bit of a mix-up here. See who lines up where. Martin making his way back up. 144 laps to go, or knocked down in this one. Currently
Looks like Justin Grosh here, by the way, is going to be our leader once things cycle back around. Matt Cook just took his pit. He's on the inside of turn 4 in his pit, getting service done for the final time. He'll go down at least a couple positions. Everybody crosses the stripe. They score him right now in the 5th place position if he can get back out. 6th place as we go down through and people cycle back around.
Yeah, you see actually Dante Curtis ahead of these guys, so not sure what the deal is with this one. But you see Curtis and then looks to be the 89 of Shepard up there as well. Those guys came down. They did get tires.
I believe they're still a lap down according to the time. Doesn't show a -1, but the time 36 seconds behind the leader. That would be more than enough to be a lap down. So once the pace car gets ready to pull off and these guys get lined back up, you see right now they are taking the wave around. That'd be the top 3 there. It'd be the 3 of Dante Curtis, 34 of Harabin, and Jonathan Cross in the 10 Northern guy machine there. He's able to get around the pace car. That'll put them back on the lead lap. We will have 8 cars ready on the lead lap with what looks to be 55 laps to go when the green flag drops.
Yeah, and it looks like possibly a lap machine. Not sure what the 32 is doing. He's 15 laps down, taking off right now. Everybody trying to line up. Grosser's going to take off. This is your green flag right here.
Green's out.
We're going to have traffic right away. Eschen and Martin door to door as they come down for lap 146. They're going to work their way around the lap car of John Masterson and the 64 car as well. Real tight off of turn 2. Eschen going to get a little sideways there. Martin going to try to stick his nose up for second as he gets to the high side of Brandon Klaczynski coming around here. We'll see if Martin can make it stick off of turn 4.
Martin with a huge run after 3 wide, come off of turn 2. Echelon a little bit loose in the rear end. Keep in mind, fresh rubber. Everybody's getting them back warmed up. Martin to the high side, Echelon to the inside, but that 98 of Klaczynski holding them both up. Now on the outside holding the 46. That allows Echelon with the move down to the bottom. It'll get to the inside. He'll get a nose ahead of the 98, and Martin will follow suit to the inside. It's a 3-car battle for second place.
These guys door to door. The 99 with a good view of this one. He's sneaking his way up into this one. Eschen's going to take the capitalization here on second spot. Martin still working on the bottom. Tires heating up for these guys as they come around through turns 1 and 2. Martin looks like he's going to get the spot. Tucks in behind Eschen, working their way down the back straightaway. At the same time, Landon Williams is duking it out with the 98 car of Klaczynski as they come around through turns 3 and 4.
99 of Williams beat it down the concrete there coming through turn 1, was able to give him a run off of turn 2. Not enough to take and get by anybody, but it was enough to keep up. He'll hit it again in the same place as a caution comes out for the 11th time this evening.
Not sure what it's for. I'm trying to find out on my end.
Taking a look over here, I do see that McCrae is in, but that was from an incident before. Stewart there in the 64 is in. 91 of Gable. Where are we at? Don't see him. Shepard now, by the way, cycled back into 14th, 3 laps down. Not sure what happened there. Trying to find it, but I don't see a wreck anywhere on the field, and everybody's moving forward.
Yeah, not seeing anybody paused. We do have a couple cars, Kyle Spees and Adam Jeeble, grayed out in this one, so they're going to slowly drop down to the bottom of the grid. As of right now, Justin Grosser is going to have Gary Eschen and Philip Martin behind him in third. Klaczynski and Landon Williams, those guys duking it out. Got 3 Northerners and 3 Southerners behind him with Curtis in 6th spot as he was on the tail end, and that's just what he wanted. He's going to be able to make his way up in front of some of these lap cars. We do have a chunk of cars a lap down or more. Only 8 cars currently sitting on the lead lap, and after getting that wave around, Dante Curtis, Jonathan Cross, and Kyle Harbin all going to be on the tail end of the lead lap cars this time, so they won't have a big gap between that top 5 and themselves.
We've officially hit the 3/4 way through this race. 150 laps in, 50 laps to go. It looks like they may restart with about 45, 46 once we go. And it looks like up front, man, everybody on the front row was there when it started, and they are there again. Grossier with our pole position tonight. He is first and started first. Echelon on the outside of him, which is going to be single file restart, but still started second right now with that 23 machine, one of our northern guys. And Philip Martin, what I got to say by him, started 8th right now, 3rd place position, has a great starting position for the rest of this race, and I believe at least our top 8, which is on the lead lap, have enough fuel to make it to the end. Again, 50 laps really isn't nothing when 60 and 70 is your window, and I believe they pitted all around lap 140.
Track position definitely key here. There is only 8 cars, so you got to think if there's a late caution, maybe 20 laps to go, you'll see somebody maybe back in 9th, 8th, 7th, maybe even 6th. Dante Curtis coming down to grab 2 tires or 4 tires, as they're not going to lose a bunch of spots here. This top 4 definitely wants to kind of stay where they're at. Track position's so hard, Ray. It's so hard to pass here, as we've seen all night long. New tires against old tires, way easier, as we've seen. But when you're only a 10th or 2 difference, man, is it hard to pass sometimes. So maybe look for a late race strategy change. But 46 laps to go in this one. Maybe look for a little bit of a long run here. Could end this one off as well. So a lot of things can play out, and I'm interested to see what happens.
Yeah, Dante Curtis right now in the 6th place position, been holding on all night long. One of the things I admire about him, even though he's got fresh tires with these guys, he's able to run that 2nd and 3rd groove a lot, shortening up the track, able to keep the momentum at least a little bit. and that's where he's done a lot of his passing and kind of keeping it up front. Pace car light's still on. Hopefully this time by we see him line up single file. And that blinking machine there looks to be in the 5th place is 99 of Landon Williams. I believe that was him blinking. So hopefully he's able to stay connected. Ahead of him, the 98. Pace car lights are off. We're going to go green this time on lap 156.
Looks like they're going to double up here, Ray. Guys are kind of siphoned out. We've gone 3/4 of the race. The cream has kind of risen to the top. We'll see what these guys can do here. Strategy possibly taking place here. Pit car is going to come down early. We'll see what Grosser decides to do. He'll have Eschen to his inside. We're going to go racing one more time.
Grosser to the outside right now, ready to go on that high side. That's where you want to be. Pace car is down pit road. He can hit the loud pedal any second now, and he does going into turn 3. Green flag will be in the air. Big wreck behind him. Includes the 44 there of Dan Witt, but no caution out. 44 is actually backwards, able to straighten it back up, keep it underway as we watch back up front with Grosser leading the pack down through turn 2.
Dante Curtis with a good view of a side-by-side battle for 4th as he gets a huge run coming down the back straightaway. We're going to jump right on board with him. As you see Landon Williams working his way to the inside, and Brandon Klaczynski through 3 and 4. Top 3 under a blanket as these guys are trying to duke it out a little farther back in the top 5. Landon Williams still to the inside of Klaczynski, way to the bottom, going to try to maybe slide up. Curtis is going to have a good view of this one. He works his way all the way to the bottom of the racetrack. Look for him to go 3 wide here down the back straightaway.
Almost 3 wide as we come off of turn 2, just for a second anyways. Curtis falls in behind the 2 cars, the 98 and the 99. 99 right now, Williams to the bottom side. Been a drag race all the way around this facility, as they still are right down the front stretch. Williams with the advantage to the low side, but looking for a slide job coming up through turn 2. He'll pull it off right in front of the 98. The 98 has to tap the brakes, and that allows the 03 to go to the bottom, and Curtis will take over that position going down the back chute.
I saw somebody go down, not sure who it was, maybe Gary Eschen. He makes a loop there, getting a little bit taken out. We'll jump back, see if we can find out something. We'll jump back right to green race, a little free there off of 2, and loops it around. Still under green flag racing, absolutely. Top 3 under a blanket. Landon Williams put him up to 3rd. Phil Martin now moves up to 2nd spot as these guys all in a line coming around to 40 laps to go this time by. And these guys are duking it out and ready to rock and roll as Martin looks to the bottom. He's going to follow the tire tracks on 38 down the front straightaway.
One of the biggest players of the night, Echelon, marked back, unfortunately, by his own demise of cold tires. Loses rear end. They'll put him back right now to the 9th place spot, about 10 seconds behind the leader. But as you said, caution is out as I was saying this, and we'll see what happens.
The 64 car of Stewart. We'll see if we can find out what happened. Like he just gets a little loose, locks him up. Not sure what happened there.
Yeah, that was kind of funky there. I see the left front graphic screw up there on through the fender, but it looks like he just buried the front end and then lost the rear end when he did it. But kind of curious of what happened, like a brake failure or something with his pedal possibly. But it was enough to bring the caution out here for the 12th time this evening. We've got a dozen cautions within 160 laps. 153 is what we're on right at the moment in time. Actually, no, we're deeper. I'm still on Thomas Stewart, so he's at 153. 161 right now on our leader of Gross here. This will give an advantage to Gary Echelon. Now watch Echelon, because he's been fast all night long, but he can also pass. Even though he's starting in the 9th place spot, he's the only guy before you go laps down from 10th on back. I think he's going to have a chance to come up through here. Now here's my other opinion too, by the way, DJ. They're going to take all these lap cars and put them to the back. If I was Echelon, I'd come in and get 4 fresh tires and get back out. He's got nothing to lose at this point in time. He's still going to restart 9th, and it'll give him an advantage in everybody at the run towards the end. No fuel, just tires. That's be my suggestion for the 23.
Absolutely. If, like I said, if you're in the back half of this top group that's in the lead, on the lead lap, we're going to see some cars make their way down pit road. A couple lap cars. We'll see what Eschen decides to do. He stays out. Curious to see why he did that, but you know, let's see. We've got about 19 laps on all these guys' tires, so we'll see as this caution kind of develops here. But a lot of guys towards the back half of the field coming out for tires. Looks like Dustin Shepard and Thomas Stewart, as well as Tyler McRae in the 4 car. So guys duking it out still up front. A lot of racing action as Grosser, Martin, Williams, Curtis, Brandon Klaczynski, and Jonathan Cross sneaking his way up into the top 6 out of Ohio, another northern driver here. So it's 3 southern and 2 northern up into this top 5. Let's see. Yeah, so crazy group here. Nice and mixed up. Like we said earlier, we'll go over a little bit of league information, but along with the Drivers' Championship.
Echelon's pitting, by the way, buddy.
All right, good call. We'll see what he does, as he's going to come down, probably get 4 tires. But as you see the N and the S, as the pace car lights are still on, we're going to go over this real quick. The Drivers' Championship's also going to be a region championship. So the North-South Racing League, each driver has selected the region to represent. The top 3 in each race will receive points for their region. Region with the highest points and highest points total wins. Top 3 points earners in the region will receive the region winning plaque. As well, they have their bonus. So if a northern driver wins at a southern track, southern driver wins at a northern track, $25 up on the line. So this being in middle Indiana, Indianapolis, Brownsburg, Claremont area, if a southern driver like Landon Williams, Dante Curtis, or Brandon Klaczynski make their way up into the front and win this one, $25 straight to them just for winning a race out of their region.
Now, one thing I'd like to give out, my own little creation for tonight anyways. I may continue this. A good attaboy right now. My attaboy guy is a 34 of Kyle Harbin. Pitted at lap 151 the last time with the other guys that pitted under caution. Able to just bring it from the 15th place all the way up to the front, and then stayed there for an extended period of time because he had the extra fuel when he pitted early. And, man, he's just in the top 10. He's on the lead lap. He's got a great chance of this. As we see the pace car pull off, goes here to the inside this time, which is awful weird, allowing Martin to the outside. He'll jump it right there out of turn 3. And actually, as I say that, he'll go to the top, take the outside line. Green flag is in the air, and it's 2 by 2 behind the leader of Grossier.
A lot of action. Martin in the preferred line. Williams going to make his way all the way down to the bottom. Going to try to do a slide job like he did earlier. Unfortunately, Martin with a great run out of turn 2. Going to keep the spot away from the 99. And Dante Curtis going to work his way to the high side of the 99 as well as they come through 3 and 4.
A little bit farther back, 8th place, Gary Echelon, fresh tires guy right now. Maybe at least outside tires, not sure what he got, but he did come down pit lane. He's behind that 34 of Harabin. As we see the 99 back up front in the 3rd place position, that leaves the outside open for the 03 of Curtis. Curtis right now with the advantage going down the backstretch, about a half a car length ahead of him. 99 goes low again, tries to take and get that momentum going, blows off the momentum going up, slides up the track, just about hitting the 03, doesn't touch. Drag race down the front stretch.
These guys still door-to-door as they come down into 1 and 2. Williams taking it all the way down to that yellow stripe. Curtis staying right up top. Martin thinking about making some moves here as we're on board with him. He's side by side for the lead right now for Justin Grosser on lap 168.
Martin to the bottom side down through turn 3. It is a drag race now off of turn 4. They are exact side by side as we hit the stripe. 38 across here will lead that lap. But as I'm saying all this, a battle up front is great, but that 23 is fighting his way back through the field right now. Took over another place from the 34 of Harabin. Back up front, Grossier to the outside, Martin to the inside. Martin wearing out those tires quicker, but using the shorter line. Still trying to take and get that nose ahead of him with a run off of turn 4, but not enough. Have a car length back, still side by side. Martin loses the rear end. He'll pull him behind the 38, and down through turn 1 will go with Grossier still leading this field.
And as he does that, the back half of the top 5 is going to scoot their way up. Landon Williams still trying to work to the bottom of the 03 of Curtis, coming down the back straightaway. He tucks his way back in. Martin tucks in as well. Throw a blanket over the top 7. All the way in the 6th spot, Gary Eschen with only 6 laps on his tires, 22 laps newer than everybody else out there. We'll see if he can get that 23 machine back up front after he was running 2nd, kind of took himself out, got a little free off of turn 2. We'll see if he can make a run here. Landon Williams looking quick, though, as he's trying to put some pressure on the 03. Same with the 46 on the 38 cars. They're door-to-door through turns 3 and 4.
Another challenge again. Martin to the inside has the momentum this time, but not enough to take and get that lap. 38 of Grossier has it. Down to the inside he'll go. Martin with a little bit of an earlier lift than he did last time. Watching that flame out of the tailpipe. He'll pull ahead. He's got the momentum this time down through turn 2. And we have Curtis joining the battle for the front place as we see Martin by a nose go down to turn 3. But again, door-to-door these guys will go. Martin not with the same run he had last time, but now he has the nose. The momentum to the top side. And Grossier will lead that lap by about inches coming off of turn 4.
Looks like the 03 is going to try to go to the inside as the 38 gets into the wall. New leader as we come in at turn 2, the 46 of Phil Martin. New 2nd place as well as Dante Curtis we were on board with. We're going to jump out here, see how close this pack really is. Side by side for 4th as Landon Williams goes to the inside of Klaczynski. Leading the second lap of the evening, the 46 car. Grosser now going to put pressure on the 03 of Curtis down into 1 and 2.
This is anybody's race all the way back to the 6th place position as we see Echelon go to the inside of the 99. It took away the 99's line where he usually runs in the 3rd and 2nd groove. But that'll bring him back to line. Nose to tail, they'll go down through turn 3. Right now it's Martin, Curtis, Grossier, Brandon Kay, as well as Landon Williams and Gary Echelon. Echelon with those fresher tires. Still 6 laps newer as we see a great move by the 38 down almost into the grass through turn 1. He'll bring it to the inside of Curtis. Curtis with the momentum off the top side. That'll bring the 38's rear end out a little bit, able to straighten it back up. Down the backstretch, they'll go front to tail.
Laps ticking off, coming around at 25 laps to go. Philip Martin leading this one. Dante Curtis in second. Justin Grosser rounding out the top 3. Brandon Klasinski, Landon Williams, and Gary Eschen. All these guys fighting for position for 6th. A little on farther back, James Pileski, Kyle Harbin in the 34 car. Jonathan Cross and Jeff Mathis rounding out your top 10. But a great race going on for this battle here as Martin pulls out to a 4/10 of a second lead, coming around at 24 laps to go.
As you said a lap ago, 25 to go, now 24 at the stripe. Martin is just pulling away from the top guys. In the 2nd place of Curtis, about 4 car lengths separate those top guys, and 3 of them nose to tail behind him, just beating those nose and the rear behind him. The 38 right now of Grossier, the 98 of Brandon Kay, and Landon Williams just hammering at each other. It is go time, my friend. Right now, as we say that, the 98 goes to the inside. Brandon tries to move behind him for 3rd place spot. He won't get it this time, but still a huge challenge for the 3rd place as Grossier's on the top side, door to door, down through turn 2.
Yeah, it looks like he's just getting tighter and tighter as these cars are able to make their way to the bottom under him. He bounced it off the wall there as Martin was working his way around. That definitely didn't help the steering on the 38 machine as we're looking back from the 03 of Dante Curtis. Landon Williams trying to follow these guys through this one. Going to see if he can make a pass on this one as he's right up to the rear bumper of the 38 of Grosser. He's trying to work his way around Klasinski as they come around off turn 2. Side by side, drag race down into 3.
Thought for sure Echelon will be able to get up and fight with these guys he did earlier, but unfortunately he's lost a little momentum back there in that 6th place spot. Big old gap between him and the 5th place of the 98 of Brandon Kay. But right now it is for 3rd place. Grossier is just holding on to the outside. The 99 of Williams tried the inside last time coming off of turn 4. Nose to tail, they'll come out of turn 2. Williams with 1 car length back to the 3rd place spot. And back up front right now, our leader Philip Martin. Dante Curtis, only half a second between those top 2, but Martin just making that lead a little bit longer and longer each lap.
And a car second fastest on the racetrack is that 99S of Landon Williams. He's trying to get his way around the 38 so he can maybe put a run on the 03 machine, but only 20 laps to go this time by, coming down off of turn 2. These guys are in a line here going down into 3. Grosser trying to hang on to everything he's got. Looks like his car's starting to fade a little bit as the laps tick off.
Keep in mind the sun has gone down, a little bit of sunset going on here at Lucas Oil Raceway. The track is tightening up. That being said, it's a little bit colder, so the grip is getting a lot more. And it's just in time for the finish of this race as we see the 99 again try to go off a turn 2, but he'll lose some ground right now as the 99 behind him, and Brad Kay closes back up to Williams. Williams again slipping and sliding off a turn 2. I say the grip, but unfortunately I kind of cursed the 99 as the 99 almost down through the grass there for turn 4, able to keep up with Grossier. Now, Grossier was a powerhouse earlier, slipping and sliding with those tires again, just kind of slowing down for the 3rd place spot. As we say back up front, though, Philip Martin in that 46 machine has gained at least a 1/4 of a second right now in the 2nd place of Dante Curtis in the number 30.
Yeah, right now the lap's ticking off. This is exactly what Martin wants to see as we have 17 laps to go, and he is a 10th faster than 2nd place right now. And the 38 car slowing up that 99. They're not going to gain any ground at all. So 0.85 seconds as they work their way down the back straightaway. Dante Curtis holding on to a solid spot there in 2nd. Doesn't look like he's making his way any farther up than he is right now. If a caution comes out, you never know what can happen. But right now it's all Martin and the 99 of Landon Williams slowly pulling away from the 98 of Brandon Klasinski as he works his way onto the 38 machine of Justin Grosser coming out of turn 2.
Williams keeps trying that low line off the corner of 4, just not able to pull it off. Still right behind him there in the 38 of Grossier, right off of turn 2. He'll look to the inside one more time. He actually had to break that time to kill the momentum before he hit the rear end, but it'll bring him down to the inside. Now they go door to door to 38 again with that nose at the start-finish line, able to hold him off. But again, side by side, down through turn 1, 2. Maybe a slide job happening here. 99 up front, and he does pull it off, but the 38 of Grossier will go back to the inside for a crossover move down the back chute.
We'll see if he can make it stick on the high side. That was where the 99 wanted to go. The 38 thinking about doing a crossover. Not going to get there, though. The 99 of Williams is going to keep it stuck on the high side, get a big run down the front straightaway. Looks like they're going to be nose to nose as they come down into 1 and 2. Slide job of his own in the 38. Look out 99. You got Klaczynski there under him. Another slide job coming down the back straightaway here.
Looks like a replay the last time. The cars are just swapped this time, though. Williams able to pull it off to get there. He'll get a tap, by the way. Grossier tapped by the 98 from behind, but that'll give him momentum on the bottom side. We'll have another drag race with the 38 in the inside going down through turn 1. Another crossover move, sliding up behind and actually in front of the 99. 99 going back for the crossover, and they just keep swapping that third place position.
Absolutely a good show of driving skill as Klaczynski's just trying to get by one of them. Right now, Dante Curtis got the lead down to 0.7 of a second as Klaczynski's going to work his way by the 38 car coming down the front straightaway. Now we're going to see Landon Williams get a chance to run these guys down, but the laps are ticking off. 12 laps to go.
I see that Curtis, by the way, closed up a little bit on the leader. It was 0.80, now it's 0.75. It ain't much of a difference, but it's still a difference nonetheless. Lap 189 is what they're working. It'll be 11 laps at the stripe. And with the battle for third there, Grossier got a little bit of a pound in there from Brandon K. I'll just do K. Brandon K. there in the 98 machine. And I'll tell you what, not sure if that damaged the 98 or not, but it seems like he slowed down. Obviously, those third and fourth place of Williams and Grossier is pulling away from him, but the 98, not sure. Again, I don't know if there's any damage on the car, but right now there's at least 8 car lengths where it was only 2 last lap.
Yeah, these guys digging. The 38 making his way up. Going to try to see if he can catch that 99, but doesn't look like anything's going to happen. The lead slowly shrinking right now as it's down to 6.5. It was 8.5, 0.2 back. 10 laps to go this time by. We're going to focus heavily on the lead here as this is where the action's at. Slow car on the bottom making their way down. The 4 car of Tyler McRae. Right now, 0.666 the gap between first and second. Phil Martin going to come around to 9 laps to go this time by. We'll see if Curtis has anything for him as we're in the final laps at the battle at Brownsburg 200 for the North-South Racing League.
Lucas Oil Speedway, never a place to disappoint, and tonight is one of those examples with these guys. Of Philip Martin up front, Curtis in second, as you said, 0.66 last lap. He'll bring it down a little bit lower off of turn 4, still able to hold that momentum at the stripe right now. 0.653, not much of a difference, actually 0.624. He's gaining on him, but I think he's going to run out of time before this happens. Lap 193, 8 laps to go. I can actually make that 7.5 as we see Martin down here in turn 3 with that lead, and it's not growing nor shrinking much. So again, I believe if Martin just keeps holding on. By the way, I just see Martin go down to third groove, come off of turn 4, trying to use Dante Curtis's line, but Curtis with the momentum there, 0.588 this time at the start-finish line. And we're going to have 6 laps to go next time we hit the stripe. Will Curtis have enough horsepower to do it?
Yeah, just about a 0.5 faster. Not enough to really get there, but we'll see. Any mistakes will definitely put him right at the rear bumper. Getting to him's one thing, getting around him's definitely another, as these guys are enduring 200 laps here. Lead down to 0.45 seconds as we have 6 laps remaining. Martin going to have Curtis right on his tail. Cuts off another 0.5 down through 1 and 2. They're going to race down the back straightaway. It's all Curtis and Martin as we come around to 5 laps to go.
Keep an eye up front, of course, between Curtis and Martin, but we still have a challenge for third place with another crossover between the 38 and the 99 of Williams and Grossier. And I'll tell you what, Brandon K is just waiting for those guys to take and knock heads and hopefully take over that third place spot. But right now, it's all Landon Williams as he blocks the 38 to go down low this time. He'll hit the tail end of the 99. and that'll take the momentum off of both of those cars. So look back to the inside for another crossover as the 38 almost comes up the track, and now touch coming down through turn 4. Back up front with 4 laps to go. Dante Curtis now to .366 is turning out to be a great finish here, DJ.
These guys door to door. It feels like, man, these guys doing crossovers back 3rd through 5th. The leaders slowly gaining on each other here. These guys running pretty much perfect, identical lap times, 5.6 and 5.9. Martin a little faster last time by. The lead down to .4 seconds. He gained a 10th on him that time. Mirroring each other's laps. 3 laps to go this time by. This pack 3rd through 5th still duking it out as Grosser has Williams and Brandon Kay right on his rear bumper. These guys trying to figure out what's happening. Martin stretching it out to .383 as they come around for 2 laps to go.
2 laps to go as Martin crosses the stripe down here on the front stretch. A battle ensues from 3 and 4 as we see Williams to the inside with that 99 machine, but falls back behind the 38 of Grossier. Grossier down through turn 1. Now they're all taking the high side as we see the 99 almost touch the wall. That opens the bottom door for the 98 of Brandon Kay. Kay low right now trying to get around, but not enough momentum. That leaves at least a little bit of room for Grossier to pull away as we're on lap 199. Philip Martin leads, and there's no difference between the top 2 except for 2 car lengths on the final lap right here. White flag should be in the air.
Here we go. Curtis making his way, trying to get to the bumper of the 46 car. They're going to have a clean 1 and 2. No lap traffic going to play a factor. To the bumper of the 46 as they make their way down into turn 3. Martin going to keep it up top, going to keep that momentum rolling. Curtis trying to give it everything he's got, cutting down off of turn 4. Your winner for the Battle at Brownsburg 200, Phil Martin in the 46 machine.
Grossier comes off of turn 4, and he'll actually take over the 3rd place spot with Williams behind him and Brandon Kay rounding out your top 5.
Awesome race to end this one. A little bit of a slow start there, Ray, but man, what a finish. Great racing top to bottom. 15 cars going to finish this one off as everybody else comes down to their checkered flag.
We're saying all that. I'll tell you what, Echelon just congratulated the top 5. He had a front row seat to watch these guys there in the 6th place position for the top 5. Just an excellent amount of racing here towards the end. As you said, a lot of momentum to be had once these guys got underway with green flag laps. I'll tell you what, Philip Martin, phenomenal job. Started 8th tonight, all the way up to the point and winning this thing in the final laps, able to hold off Dante Curtis there for the win. And I'll tell you, Martin put on a hell of a show this evening with the North-South Racing League.
Absolutely. These guys duking it out. Man, racing action all over the track. And I'm so happy to see this guy with the victory there. This 46 machine, beautiful car with the victory. These guys lined up perfectly as they come around. We're going to try to get some interviews here as we work our way around here. We're going to start it. I would like to start with the 38 machine, but it looks like I have insufficient permissions here in TeamSpeak. So we'll jump up. We'll try to get Dante Curtis here. Dante Curtis, this is DJ and Ray up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, man, heck of a run. You worked your way back from 3rd, but you guys had some green flag stops trying to run down the 46 machine of Phil Martin. What do you think about the race?
Man, old Phil was quick. Hats off to Phil. He drove a great race. We just come in here, a little bit of practice. Phil asked me about 8:30 if I wanted to run, so come in here, made some laps, and it was just got a little mixed up there through green flag pit stops. I almost got to put a lap down, but got the wave around, and it all worked out. And I was trying to catch up there to Phil to race him a little bit, but we couldn't get too close.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Typical Dante Curtis fashion. You show up late, get yourself a top 3 run. Awesome job for you. Anybody you want to thank for tonight?
Yeah, I just got to thank Runyon Motorsports, Logan Runyon Motorsports, Dante Curtis Designs, DJ, Weltmeyer Engineering, Russell Brown Race Cars, just a whole bunch of guys.
Awesome, man. Well, we really appreciate you jumping in. Even though it was a little late, you definitely made it count. 200 laps of action. Big points day for you. You might have to come back next week.
Yeah, the points are an option now. We'll have to see.
And well, thank you so much for joining you. That's our 2nd place finisher, Dante Curtis. Going to try to see if we can get the 38 machine before the winner here. But as of right now, I don't have any contact with him. We'll bring in our winner.
Hey, Philip.
What's up, guys?
We don't have the permission to bring in the 2nd place guy. Do you, if you don't mind? We'll see if we can get Philip to drive him in because this is his broadcast deal, and at least we'll see if we can get to talk to the second place guy third place guy of Justin Grossier. Sorry for the pause here, but we'll do what we can as we continue on again. Philip Martin, there, our winner for the evening. We'll see if we can get a word with him shortly. And we got Justin Grossier here. Justin, by the way, congratulations, third place run tonight, all the way up. Actually started on the pole, but phenomenal run going on all the way through. I'll tell you what, holding off Landon Williams and Brandon there for the longest time. Walk us through a little bit, man. That was phenomenal to watch.
That was wild. It's fun when you can race with guys like that. I've known Landon a long time, and we've always raced together pretty clean. So when you get with someone like that, you just know. And Brandon's the same way. A lot of these guys are the same way. Yeah, we just trading sliders back and forth. I know a lot of dirt purists hate when the asphalt guys use the term slider, but I don't know what else you call it.
Slide job.
Yeah, throwing sliders and crossing them over, and then I got into him once. I didn't have enough of a run, and I slid up into him, and I thought he was going to get me back for that. But yeah, good run. Just happy with how it turned out. I know the race was really rough early, but it cleaned up there after we got all the mess out of the way. That was a lot of fun.
Justin, phenomenal job again, starting on the point, still a podium finish tonight, third place. And I'll tell you, there was one time you did a crossover. I watched Williams kind of block your line on the bottom because you were going back for him to take and return it to him. But regardless, just a hell of a race we called with you guys there in third, fourth, and fifth place. Just want to congratulate you for that. Anybody you want to thank while you're in here tonight? Now's your chance, bud.
Just all my other fellow admins, Brandon and Dustin and Jeff and Jesse and Philip. This whole deal was kind of put together, I'll say late. It feels like an eternity now, but we've done a lot of work in a short period of time, and I couldn't be happier with the turnout. We're going to have to work hard to get the cautions at the beginning of these races cleaned up, but that'll get better once everybody gets adjusted to the 14X limit and once people kind of get used to racing with each other. So I just got to thank J&G Hardwood Flooring for coming on board and putting the series together. Really, without them, we're not here. Kelly's Custom Engraving and you guys for coming out and broadcasting it, man. It's a whole team effort that makes this deal work, and it's a lot of fun. So thanks.
We appreciate you being here as well. Third place position tonight for the 38 of Justin Grossier from Fort Atkinson, Wisconsin. Congratulations, man, for a podium finish. And keep in mind, this is the first shootout out of 4, and this is the first race, so top 3 isn't too shabby for 13 races.
Yeah, man, for sure. It's gonna be a long season. I'm looking forward to chasing the season-long points, and I don't know, good points tonight. 0 incidents and led a bunch of laps. So we'll see how the points shake out, and we'll move on to wherever we're running next week. I don't even know yet.
Oh, appreciate you being here. We'll see you next week, and we'll bring up to the booth Philip Martin, our winner tonight, here in the battle at the Brownsburg Showdown 200.
User left your channel.
What's up, guys?
Bill Martin, excellent run. First off, we just want to say congratulations. You were getting some heat put on you there from the 03 at the end. Strategy played out, speed played out, keeping it clean early. A bunch of cautions within the first 50 laps, and then I felt like there were only about 2 after that. What do you think about tonight's race?
The first 50 was pretty rough, but the last, 3/4 of it, wow, that's pretty cool. It's there's a lot of different strategies that going on with the fuel deal and guys stopping under yellow and all the front runners not really stopping until they absolutely had to, trying to stay out of all the trouble. So I didn't know where it was going to shake out until the second round was getting ready to start going again for the green flag stops, and then that yellow came out. So kind of changed a few things, really.
And I don't know about you, Ray, but we were confused as to who was going to stop. We know Womack came out there, and he was leading by a lap. A couple other guys tried to stretch it 90 laps on fuel with the amount of cautions we had. Definitely threw a wrench in the whole situation. But you were still in the top 5 pretty much the whole night. You, Grosser, Curtis, Williams, Klaczynski, Eschen, he went around a little bit, got a little free, and you avoided that one a little late. But, hey, man, everything worked out. Luck was on your side. Skill, talent, everything worked out for you. Got your first plaque on our first showdown. You're going to get your name engraved on that Kelly's Custom Engraving plaque, so it's awesome to see that get shipped over to you as you're a North driver. Unfortunately, no bonus, as we were reading to the fans that if a Southern driver did get that $25 bonus. But being in the North and, 2.5 hours away, I would consider this almost your home track here on iRacing.
Yeah, pretty much it is. That's for sure. For anything that we're going to go to, it's definitely a home track. Milwaukee later in the season isn't too far, but this one's pretty close. It definitely helps. I hated seeing that with Gary. I know him and Justin kind of got together there off of 2, and I just couldn't check up in time. So hated to see that happen with him.
Yeah, absolutely. Got a little free and just driving the crap out of these things, man. No horsepower and heavy boats. But Phil Martin, anybody you want to thank here for tonight's win?
I got to thank Dante for the paint scheme tonight. Thing looks awesome. Wellmeyer Engineering, Runyon Motorsports, and J&G Hardwood for coming on board, putting this deal together with us, and Kelly's Custom, coming on board with all the cool plaques. And we got some cool stuff in the works with the North-South deal and the bonus. It's going to be a really cool deal once we get it all shake out, and going to be a fun season.
Absolutely, man. Off to a great start. The racing action was awesome. We had slide jobs going on, pack racing. You could throw the top 7 under a blanket. Several points throughout the race as it went on and the laps started ticking off. But right now, your points leader, race winner, Showtime #1 winner, Phil Martin. Thanks so much for your time.
Hey, you guys. Thanks for broadcasting that.
Absolutely. We're going to drop him out of the channel. Ray, what do you think, man? Race #1 of 13, the battle at Brownsburg 200. Bring up our results, go over it, and do a little rundown.
Now, it looks like your top contender there, Philip Martin, was in first. Dante Curtis in second. Justin Grossier in third. And Landon Williams in fourth. Fifth was Brandon Kay, which I cannot pronounce the last name as always. Sixth place, Gary Eschlin. Seventh place, James Polsky there. Jonathan Cross will be the eighth place. Ninth place, Kyle Harbin. And top 10 will be Jeff Mathis.
Absolutely. It was a great race for this top 7 on back. We really didn't talk a whole lot about them. Quiet race for the 93, but man, moving up there from 18th all the way up to 7th is a great run. From 14th to 8th there for Jonathan Cross as well. And from 15th to 9th, we saw Kyle Harbin lead some laps. And all the way back from 23rd to 10th, 13 spots gained. These guys doing what they had to do and using their endurance and keeping those cars out of trouble. We'll move our way back to the back 20 of this one. Dan Witt, who made it through the transfer, started back in 28th. He finishes 11th. Dustin Shepard, Will Eastman, Thomas Stewart in 14th. John Masterson's going to finish 15th. Tyler McRae, Matt Cook, Jesse Womack, who was up front most of the race, started up front. Unfortunately, he's going to end up with a damaged race car, not able to finish this one. He's going to finish 18th. Adam Jeeble in the 91, and Kyle Spees in the 36 is going to be 20th. We'll jump back to our bottom half of the field.
Can you grab that for me? I'm having a little trouble on my end.
Not a problem. Jacob Heathcote in the 37. Garrett Apel, who started up in 5th, spun out our first caution of the evening. Not going to be able to recover, finishing 22nd. Robert Clavey in the 29. He's going to finish in 23rd. Richard Orr, Cody Ostrom, Kyle Shear, who transferred in. He's going to finish 26th. Andrew Schroeder, Dylan Kalin, and Clarence Clifton, as well as Mark Shute, are going to round this one off for the battle at Brownsburg 200.
Well, you asked me what I thought. This is battle 1 of 13 for this season, right here from Lucas Oil Raceway. I'll tell you what, it started out slow. I had my doubts all the way up to a point of what? Let's see, we had at least a dozen cautions, I believe 13 total. And here's the deal. The Driving DJ Network will bring it to you next week. And another great shootout between the North-South Racing League, brought to you by J&G Hardwood Flooring and Kelly's Custom Engraving. And DJ, I'll let you take it over from here on out, buddy.
Well, for Ray, I'm DJ, and we are excited to bring this to you. We thank these guys at the North-South Racing League, and we'll come at you, like Ray said, next week. I hope everybody has a safe night and a good rest of your week as we get on into the summer. Tracks are starting to open up. Those real-life race tracks are starting to pack up with fans. We're really excited to see that going on. See everybody next Monday at 8 Eastern.